Just tell me one thing, Burke. You're going out there to destroy them, right? Not to study, not to bring back, but to wipe them out.
That's the plan.
All right, people, on the ready line. Are you me? Yeah! Are you me? Yeah! Get on the ready line, Marine! Get something to die! Get on the ready line!
Get your light up here.
Keep back, don't scare her.
Movement! Talk to me, Hudson!
I got signals. I got readings in front and behind.
There's nothing back here.
Look, I'm telling you, there's something moving and it ain't us.
Get them out of there!
They cut the power.
How could they cut the power, man? They're animals. There's movement all over the place. 5 meters, man. 4.
Aliens. This time, it's war.
If you're going to play a trailer, you might as well play it in VHS quality. Hello, welcome to Monday Night Mayhem. This is Trev Retro, and tonight... Oh, Mel's taking centre stage. Tonight, we're travelling to LV-426, the second moon of the gas giant Calpamos in the star system of Zeta 2 Reticuli. See, I've done my homework as we check out James Cameron's first foray as a real director in 1986's Aliens, a film that he wrote himself. It had a budget of $18.5 million, which was modest by 1986 standards, and it did really well. I mean, really well at the box office. 183.3 million domestic in the States. Hello to everybody in the chat. I'll be catching up with you shortly, and we'll start doing some slides. Hello to the panel tonight. As always, the gorgeous Vex Electronica. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I noticed all of you guys have like animated-ish avatars, so I should fit the trend, right?
Hey, why not?
But,
can I ask you a
thank
quick
you.
question?
Yes.
Are you rooting for the Oilers?
What?
No, doesn't matter.
Thank you for having me.
You're not a fan of hockey then?
No, fuck no. Hockey is so boring. I don't understand the appeal.
All right, well, stream killer. Tom B's joining us tonight. Always a pleasure to have you on the channel, sir. Thank you for joining tonight.
Thank you very much indeed. It's always a pleasure to jump on with some of my favourite people and with what is probably my favourite film of all time.
It's a cracker.
Ooh.
And also, my guru, my mentor, Melvin Deeply. Thank you for joining tonight, mate.
Me, a guru?
Yeah.
Think happy thoughts and praise Buddha. That's what I always say.
Well, you can always do that. Let me just get rid of that screen and enlarge that one. There we go. We're all singing, all dancing. I love Aliens. It is like my joint first favourite film. And 1986 was a real bumper crop of really good movies. You got Commando, we got Predator. There were umpteen great films in that year. What was your first experience of Aliens, Melv?
I seen it on VHS. I didn't see it on the big screen.
No, I didn't. I saw it on a dodgy pirate copy that my dad brought home from work with him. But it was good all the same.
I heard it better than you. I thought it was great, and we used to rent it regularly. Like every couple of weeks, we'd rent it and watch it again.
Oh wow!
I love it. I miss video shops. They were the bomb back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
They really were. Vex, what was your first outing for Aliens?
Well, I was not alive when this film came out. Sorry. But this
You're
was
only a
great.
youngling.
1991, baby. I saw this, like, I saw bits and pieces of it when it would play on television, like, on those movie channels, and then I didn't watch it properly in full till I was in high school and, fell in love with it right at like, it's not my favorite movie, but it's definitely in the top 20, I would say. Probably the best sequel I've ever seen to any franchise because it's very, very rare that you manage to make a sequel that could arguably be better than the first movie. So,
It is
yeah.
considered amongst one of the best sequels to any franchise ever,
Yeah.
basically. The
Yeah.
only other thing that's claimed to have been on par with it and been better was Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, Star Wars sucks. So
Yeah, true.
I rightly disagree with that. Sorry.
Tomby, what was your first outing with Aliens?
For me, it was early 90s. I can still remember me dad picking it up from what was down south. So living on an armed forces base, there was mobile video vans going around with the VHSs.
Yeah.
So me dad had rented it for a weekend. So he said, "Yeah, why not? Come on, watch it."
It's a great film. To me, the first film is great, although it's too much of a slow burn in some places. But that's Ridley Scott's style for you.
Yeah.
But this one, it's like being on a roller coaster. Did anybody ever experience the Motion Master Aliens?
No, what's that?
Aliens at the speed of fright. Motion Masters were like these row of chairs that were all motorized, and they'd throw you around to the action of the film.
Oh, like what's it called? It's not, is it 4DX or whatever? They
4DX.
Yeah, they have the equivalent now. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And the guy that was taking you around on the speed of fright, it was Jeffrey Combs. You know, the guy who's the big character actor on Star Trek?
No.
He's the guy from Reanimator?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. There we go. Well, he was on that, and it's on.
Vex is showing her age.
Yeah. It's on YouTube. If you look up Aliens at the Speed of Fright, right, that's exactly what you'll find, and it's really good because it's cheesy as hell, but it's a lot of fun. Brings back some great memories. We had a theme park not too far away from here, and they had the Aliens Motion Master ride, and they had this giant, like a mountain thing, and it had got a Colonial Marine with a facehugger on his face. And it was just massive. I feel sorry for whoever put that up because it was just like a monster of a mural type thing. It was really good though. I'm just going to say a quick hello to everybody in the chat. Newly wrenched Destron Solar, thank you for joining us. Sword in the Storm. Atom Grey, B-sides last week, mate. Oh. Oh dear, got me chuckling. There's nothing like a shit film that's funny.
Oh, yes.
And
totally
B-sides
right.
last week did a really good one with Cameron Mitchell, the guy from High Chaparral. It was quite interesting watching. Also, hello to Gavin Blackburn in the chat. Andrew Broadbent's around somewhere. Badfoot. Who else? Wirham of Bly. I hope I said that right. Don't forget, if you're chatting tonight, just join in the discussion because it's just great to have you on board. And we'll bring in some of your chatty bits a little bit later on. As I said, Aliens 1986. Shall we begin, lady and gentlemen?
Sure.
Indeed.
Sounds good.
Because I absolutely love this film. But it was I tell you something. I have never done so many slides in all my days.
How many do you have?
I started with 7,353, which I had to whittle down. And I've been working at these slides for 3 days.
Oh my god.
That's
I used a program. It's I'm not sure what one is. I think it's Movavi Video Converter. And I just put it on and let it go and then take the slides out when it's done. And I get like 150,000 slides when it's done.
Oh.
You got to leave it overnight. 150,000 stills or more. I think I had one of like 170 ones.
I like to do it manually. Anyway, 20th Century Fox, now owned by Disney, of course. So I'm hoping Dickie Louse isn't going to copyright strike me for the trailer. Anyway, James Cameron film. This was his second outing as a director. He did Piranha 2 before this. And he did Terminator.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I was going to say he did
corrected.
Terminator.
I titted up at the beginning. Yeah, it was his third outing as a director, but hey-ho, it's still a cracking film. And there's some great slides coming up. And that is just looking at that title, that just, every time I saw that on any media back in the 80s, I was just like, whoa, got to get it.
I used to have the 8-bit video game, and it had the same logo, and the logo looked amazing. The game was crap, but the logo still looked that good.
Which platform was that on, Mel? Speccy or Commodore?
Amstrad.
464. Oh dear, I miss my Amstrads. Anyway,
the fact that Cameron basically just wrote aliens on the board and put the $sign as the S. And
that's right, he did in his pitch meeting. Yeah, you're quite right, Tomby. Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It's a story anyway. Do you believe it?
It's true.
Was the accompanying line just like, "What if we made Alien but with money?" And that's where, and then it just became Aliens.
So when he was pitching it to Fox, essentially he drew Alien, he wrote Alien on the wall, then put the S, then $signs, and then basically said bigger stakes, bigger budget, and that was it. And they were sold.
Oh man,
you got to like his style though. If you go in with brass balls, you know you win bigger prizes.
You get rewarded for them. Yep. What was the budget on this again?
It was 18.5 million.
Yeah.
Okay, is that adjusted for inflation, or that's at $86?
Yeah, 42. That always does me. 42 million in adjusted dollars.
Yeah,
that seems rather cheap for an M-class star freighter.
Right.
The first page of Cameron's script says the inky blackness of space, so I thought I'd start with this. That's exactly what he wrote on the first page of his treatment for this film.
It does look inky, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does.
And it certainly is
not
black.
looking malky, is it, Melv? So anyway, what's that? There's a bit of something in the background there. This always does me. Why on earth was this called the Narcissist? That's a bad name for a shuttle.
Yeah, it's no T, just Narcissus.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I've been bumping into a lot of egos on YouTube lately.
It would have been strange if the T was in it.
Yeah.
Well, Narcissus was the legend of the guy looking into himself in the pool of water.
Yeah, he fell in love on reflection.
I guess, isn't this just kind of a play? Because these are raiders that are that end up finding Ripley. So is it maybe just to kind of play on, these are people that only look after themselves?
No, the shuttle she was on is called Narcissus.
Yeah.
Oh,
she was rescued. It was just pure blind luck that a deep salvage team picked her up when they did. She drifted right through the core systems.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm sure everyone saw Romulus, right?
Oh,
yeah. Now her drifting through the core systems makes no fucking sense, because remember, we see this ship drifting by the title sequence in Romulus.
The thing is, there's a if you pause Romulus in the right place, you do see that shuttle hung up in the bay.
Oh,
that's interesting.
Oh god, that's even dumber.
And then when the space station gets destroyed in the ring, you see it drifting off again.
I think if you pause Romulus at the right spot, then you don't have to watch it at all.
Yeah,
this is also true.
Yeah, don't get me started. Romulus, I was seething after watching that.
I can't believe people were defending it.
Yeah,
I'm not picking on you, Vex. I know you seem.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Melvin, but I saw the light. Okay, I saw the light.
I mean, let's face it. 3 was just barely passable, and then everything since just
it's been a shit show.
Just shite.
The weird thing was, I slagged Romulus off on Facebook, and Fede Alvarez the Fede Alvarez liked my comment. I called his film a piece of shit, and he liked it.
He'd probably
Dang.
laughing
I
while he
wonder
was
what
counting
that
his
says.
money. Shit,
Yeah.
look at all this.
One thing I do like about Cameron, he's got a very good eye for detail.
Yes.
And when he recreated the interior of this ship, he got it absolutely spot on. You know, if you're gonna go for detail, you've got to do it like James Cameron. He's definitely got ADHD and autism. He's on the spectrum.
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing is, if you watch Lance's interview with Gail Ann Hurd, she basically says as much.
Mm. Somebody needs to eat
Dang.
something. Whose tummy's rumbling?
That was me.
That sounded bad.
Do you need a Snickers, Malv?
That sounded like a shart more than a tummy rumble there.
I cooked the steak and it wasn't quite ready on time.
Why does it sound like you're in a shitter?
I lifted
There
the
we go.
mic up to stop the rumbling, but I'm back.
There we go.
I'm back in Earth now.
So
Okay,
anyway,
sorry about that.
while Ripley's sound asleep in hypersleep, a monitor chirps up. And I love this. I know it's not exactly how the screens were in Alien, but James Cameron did a really good job of these.
Yeah.
Fix it.
Did his best,
I like that. Fix it.
And I just love the style of the fonts. It's so retro, but it's supposed to be futuristic at the same time. It just works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of copied this. Do you ever play the game Alien Breed on the Amiga?
Yeah.
When you log onto the
No.
consoles and that, and then
Yeah.
the games comes up on the computer, it's
Now
well,
you've said it. I can see it now.
I say it's very reminiscent, but it's supposed to be. But I think in the first game the screens were green, and the second one they made them blue. But
Blue.
just like this.
A cracking game, though. So anyway, here's this deep salvage team. That sounds ominously rum, doesn't it? Deep salvage. If you're going to go for it, you've got to go deep. Well, look,
Especially in the blackness of
The
space.
inky blackness.
but we never get to see this ship in full. But looking at that, the detail on that's like that's proper Greebley stuff, that is. So anyway, this deep salvage team get hold of the narcissists. There we go, I said it right this time. And just look at that. The attention to detail there. You'd think this had set from 1979 had been stored lovingly and put back together for Cameron's film, but no, they had to completely recreate it just by looking at the original film, and I think they did a really good job of it. Luckily, go on.
Sorry. No, did he have that same attention to detail for continuity between Terminator 1 and Terminator 2?
I don't know. When you get a really big budget, sometimes you can forget about continuity.
That's no, just like when you watch this, because I remember I watched Alien and Aliens back to back last year, and I was still just amazed at the fact that these films are 7 years apart by two very different teams. It just kind of blew my mind that it still looks like it helps that Sigourney Weaver hadn't aged very much, but it's just stepping into one movie into the next movie. You don't feel like there's any
Well,
it's a
luckily,
sequel.
with
Like, they
this
had to
being
do it all
filmed at
from
Pinewood,
scratch.
many of the people who worked on Alien actually worked on Aliens.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a
didn't know that.
little
All right,
bit coming up, and I love the absolute attention to detail again. Now, if you look at the bottom of that door, there's that grappling hook gun, what Ripley shot at the first Xenomorph.
Yep.
It's still stuck in
wow.
the door. Can you see it at the bottom, Vex?
Yep.
Yeah.
That little black thing. Yep.
I love it. Hello, Minimum in the chat. Thank you for joining us. But that is just fantastic. It's shit like that I can appreciate. You know? If you're going to do it right.
That's an insane detail to just remember for a fraction of a second.
Yeah, but it's there, though.
In a scene. Yep.
So anyway, they cut away this door. And this is the laser that they used in Alien. You know, in the egg chamber?
Yes.
This was the same laser, because I can't remember, was it the Who were on the next stage? and they borrowed this laser. Well, the laser was property of Pinewood. So they'd still got it, and they still used it. So this was the exact laser as well that they used in Alien for the layered blue mist in the egg chamber. So anyway, it's doing a bit of scanning, and it's scanning Ripley, as you do. And I love this. Bio readouts are all in the green. She's still alive. There goes our salvage. Guys. Yeah. And I love that, scraping the ice off the cryo chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, kids, look, it's James Cameron. Can you see James Cameron at the back?
Oh, in the back there, yeah.
He shaved his beard off and had his hair cut just to film this scene.
He looked funny without the beard.
Yeah, but this was one of the last scenes they shot. So they filmed the beginning at the end. Well, there he is, James Cameron. It's like in Terminator. You know when the Terminator kills Sarah Connor's mother? And he rings the hotel. And the guy goes, "Hello, Tiki Motel." And Arnie goes, "Give me your address there." The guy who says, "Hello, Tiki Motel," that's James Cameron as well.
Wait, the Terminator killed Sarah Connor's mother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When?
In her cabin at Big Bear.
Yeah, Big Bear.
There you go. I have to watch that again.
Melvin's getting schooled.
I don't remember
that right now.
I don't remember.
Yeah, she rings her mum when they're in that motel.
Yeah, because then he hears the playback. She rings the home phone, the fax or the voicemail picks it up, and that's how he hears it to get then directed to the new place. I'm sure that was the bit.
I'll have to watch it again. I've not seen it for years. I've no recollection of that, but I've no recollection of yesterday, so we're good.
Yeah, you and me both. Well, she's looking in good shape, really, to say she's been in cryo for a hell of a long time. We'll find out how long soon. Everybody knows. But back home at Earth, things have changed somewhat because now we've got this very big space station. This is Gateway Station, built and owned and operated by Weyland-Yutani Corporation. And there's a lovely nurse taking care of Ripley. And look at that, our first Weyland-Yutani logo of the film. Gotta love it. I wonder how many there will be. So anyway, she's getting a pillow fluffed up, and she gets a visitor. And this is Burke. We'll talk more about him later. But there's Jones the cat. I doubt it's the same cat.
Probably not. I think they had 2 cats for the first movie as well, didn't they?
Well, I don't know if you've heard the latest sort of like theory about Jones the cat. There's been the trailer, sort of like some information and gubbins released about Alien Earth. And it turns out the cat aboard that ship is actually an android cat, and it's used as a recorder.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No.
So now there's a theory going around that Jones is actually an android cat. And they have these ginger cats on all these ships for Weyland-Yutani, and they're like a backup flight recorder.
So hold on. If that's a theory, then that means it's very
I don't like it when they change it in reverse, when they go back and change something that was already set, So
well, I can show you proof after we've done all the slides. I'll show you something very tantalizing.
Okay. All 15,000.
Oh well, we'll get through them quick. Melv likes me to go slow. He doesn't like it when I rush it and come early. So anyway, Ripley's catching up with Jones. And this is obviously like, she's been told this information, and she might be doing something other than being conscious right now, but we'll get round to that. Well, there's Paul Reiser. He plays Carter J. Burke. He works for the company, but he's really an okay guy. I doubt that very much. He's also possibly somebody's dad. But, my 2 dads, who was in that.
Him and the guy from BG and the Bear.
Greg Evigan.
God, that's going back some. He's not the guy with the chimp.
BJ McLean and his best friend Bear. Wow, what a flick. I used to love that on a Saturday morning. So anyway, Ripley's been given some news. She's been in hypersleep for 57 years. So Jones starts hissing, and she needs a Rennie. I think it was those pork chops she had for dinner. Yeah. So Burke's looking a bit bemused there, and Cat's going mental, as he does, and Ripley's obviously in a bit of distress here.
Yep.
So there's something cracking off. Oh, look at that. She's got knickers on.
A bit of phi.
Yeah.
Did they have to digitally add in or remove?
Not
her
this
pubes in
time.
Not this time.
No.
Okay.
I can't believe that. I think that's a bit of just urban legend created by...
I think that's urban legend too. That's ridiculous.
They wouldn't spend $1 million removing... yeah.
If you watch the VHS, you see them.
Really?
Yeah. They're there on the original VHS.
I don't think I noticed anybody in the end credits called pube removal guy.
Yeah. Oh, so what's going off here? Either she's just cacked herself, because look at the actors here are really selling it. She's either shat or there's something else going off. No, she's not giving birth. She's having a bit of a do about chest bursters, but it turns out it's a bit of a dream. Nurse says, you're having trouble sleeping. Do you want me to give you something to help you sleep? And she says, no, I've slept enough. And she gives Jones a nice reassuring cuddle there. And just before anybody says anything, we're doing the standard theatrical release of Aliens. I decided to go with what was released, first time round, as opposed to a director's cut, because they're just cash grabs by directors. Oh, I didn't get to do the film my way, so I'll re-release it in about 4 or 5 years. Actually, it was 4 years, wasn't it? It came out 1990 on VHS.
90, yeah.
Yeah. This makes me laugh too. Wayland Yutani, a big corporation, and they can't spell. I noticed a few typos in the inquiry documents. And doesn't have 2 A's in it.
What if you're Dutch?
I don't know. Maybe. If you look where it says FTL and sub-FTL, which I thought was quite funny. But that's just me being anal, I guess.
I reckon I can't even see it.
Yeah.
It's right in the middle, halfway down.
You see
to
it?
the right-hand side.
Oh, yeah.
That's just me being anal. So this is the inquiry into the Nostromo. And I love how, in the future, everybody's just smoking in boardrooms and stuff.
Right. There's hope that we'll reverse course.
Almost takes us back to a fairer time.
And this is how interesting this inquiry is. There's a bloke there doing a bloody crossword. I like that. So, Ripley's getting grilled. She knows what's happening. She experienced all this thing firsthand. And she's just getting patronised to hell. And this woman says, you found a creature, from 400 surveyed worlds, a creature that, these are your words, gestates inside a living human host and has concentrated acid for blood. And then she gets to the point where she starts losing her shit. And she gets mad. And it's just basically, Wayland Yutani are trying to chuck her under the bus and get $42 million in adjusted money for the Nostromo.
Yes.
So it says here, file status closed. They closed the inquiry, and she's just basically thrown under the bus. It's easier to blame her. Burke says that could have gone better. So she grabs hold of Clan Lewin, who's the inquiry bloke, and wants to know a bit more about LV426. And he says, I don't have to send anybody there to check it. She says, what do you mean? He says there's been people living there for over 20 years. Terraformers, colonists. It's what we call a shake and bake colony. And
there
then
was something wrong with LV426 in the original Alien. I think it was only something like 1,200 miles round or something, or 1,200 kilometers round.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, so
it's a moon. It's the second moon of the gas giant Calpamos.
But it's too small to have gravity.
Yeah, I thought that. And it has a rotation of 2 hours. So the days are fast on LV426. So she finds out there's a ton of families, maybe 60, 70 families. So she's goes back to her humdrum life aboard Gateway Station, and she's having a smoke, but she's not smoking it. She's just... This is the thing, right? We get to discover early on that Ripley's suffering from PTSD.
Yep.
And it's a big thing about this, and there's a lot of anxiety for her. Now, this is Carter Burke. He's back, but this time with Lieutenant Gorman of the Colonial Marine Corps. And he's played by William Hope. He's a Canadian actor, and his brother's a Canadian actor too. Anybody want to have a guess at who his brother is?
Bob Hope?
Close. Nope.
Bill Hope. You said close, so
No.
Rob Hope.
It's Barclay Hope, who was in Battlestar Galactica and Stargate SG-1.
Not a name that rings a
Bit
bell.
of a character actor.
Yeah.
The Critical Drinker interviewed this guy last year, I think.
Who, William Hope?
Yeah.
Oh, bro. Nice.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad interview. He also interviewed one of the other ones. Who was it? Drake.
Oh, Mark... oh, God. Forgot his name now.
Rolston.
Mark Rolston, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Interesting fact about Mark Rolston. Who remembers the Saturday morning kids show Starfleet, the puppet show thing?
Yeah.
He was the voice of the little ginger bloke, John Lee. True story. He was also in Next Gen as well as a serial killer. Killed somebody in a warp nacelle, didn't he?
He probably doesn't want anybody to know about the Starfleet thing.
Yeah. So anyway, Ripley gets a buzz at the door. She opens it. Not today. No, she lets him in eventually. And it turns out she thought they were Mormons. It turns out that they've suddenly lost contact with the colony on LV-426. I wonder why. I wonder why. Now, I know the extended version has 17 more minutes and adds a bit more context to the film.
Yes. Yeah.
But this was the original theatrical release, and I thought, that's what we got the first time round. I'm going to stick with that. I mean, I know the extra context, and I know how it plays into the grand scheme of things. But I think this works well on its own merits. So, go on.
Sorry. I don't think I've seen the extended cut. Do you mind just saying what the additional
Well,
context
at the beginning, we get like a bit of a tour around the colony at Hadley's Hope on LV-426. And it turns out that the captain from Red Dwarf is the manager. Did anybody anybody notice that in the extended version, Tomby or Melv?
No.
It's Mike McAllister, who played... oh, God, I forgot his name now. What was the captain's name on Red Dwarf? Hollister, Captain Hollister. Same guy.
I just remember the three and Kachansky.
Yeah. So what happens? Somebody from Weyland-Yutani sends some coordinates, and they send a team of what they call wildcatters to go out and investigate those set of coordinates. Now, the wildcatters are the Jordan family. It turns out to be Newt's parents who go into the derelict. And after a couple of hours, Newt's in this like tractor-trailer thing with a brother, Timmy, and the door flies open, and the mum gets on the radio to call for help.
Medical emergency.
Yeah, and Newt looks out the cab window, and her father, Russ Jordan's, laid there with a facehugger on his face.
Yeah. And then there's just a blood-curdling scream from Newt at that point.
Yeah, and then we go to Ripley holding a cigarette.
Yep.
If I was going to make a sequel or a spin-off or something, I would have made What Happened at Hadley's Hope, and you could have had a couple of them escape, because it's hard to imagine they would have had that whole kind of colony there and not had a ship to get away if they needed to. So you would think that. So they have you could have a film about the last stand, and then maybe one or two get on the ship at the end and get out.
Yeah, there is a thing online. Alien Theory did it, and it's a comic that sort of like extends on that. It's not canon, of course, because it starts going into Prometheus territory.
Black goo.
Yeah, black goo.
Gotcha.
So you have to avoid that. I mean, you know, these United States Colonial Marines are pretty tough hombres. I love how Carter Burke just sort of plays himself down, but he's a sly bastard at heart. And he says,
Quite good for a comedian, eh? I mean, this guy was a stand-up comedian.
yeah. Well, believe it or not, I've got a comic book here in my studio, written by Paul Reiser, and it's the Aliens What If. What if Carter Burke got away at the end of Aliens and got away safely? And it's really good.
Huh.
He wrote it with his son. And I tell you what else added to that. Adam Goldberg, the guy behind the Goldbergs TV show. Yeah. So he was a part of the writing team. So Burke says, oh, I see you've got a job, you know, running loaders and forklifts and so I know it's the only thing you could get. So basically Weyland-Yutani's backed her into a corner employment-wise. And Burke says, how about if I get you reinstated as a flight officer? And she says, if I go. So he's dangling the carrot and blackmailing her. And she, bit of PTSD kicks back in. And she says, you know, I wouldn't be any good to you and I'm not going back. And Burke kind of cacks himself here. You can tell he's clenching that butt. So he gives her his electronic card. And these are quite cool. Because you can stick these in a communication device and make calls with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Video calls, yeah.
Special Projects Directory.
I like the idea.
There. Yeah, Weyland-Yutani logo. That is mint. So anyway, that night, Ripley wakes up. She keeps having a recurring nightmare. And it's the same thing over and over again. She's suffering bad from PTSD. So I think she gets to a point where she thinks the only way to beat it is to go back to LV-426, face the demons, and try and beat them. So here's the VidCom 3Q/17S. Ah, there we go. I love these high-quality stills. It paid off in the end. So she's ringing Burke at Dafty O'Clock, and he's like, I didn't order a pizza.
I like how he looks back in this scene and is just like, is there supposed to be a bitch back there? What's going on,
He's just
Burke?
looking
What
at
are
the
you
clock,
doing?
because he's a businessman. He's got more than one clock, you see. And this is the part where Ripley says, you know, if I go back, you're not going to go out there to bring back to study. You're going out there to destroy them. He's like, yeah, you got my word on that. Yeah. She says, I'm in, pulls the card out, looks at the cat and says, and you little shithead, you're staying here this time. Because it's probably an android cat. I love how they change things.
In hindsight, she was pretty stupid to take his word there, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yes.
But
she's not exactly in the best state of mind, though. Let's be honest. By the way, does it? I don't know if you had this in your trivia or if it was in the extended version. But how much time had passed between the hearing with Weyland-Yutani and when Burke visits her? Because it's clear that she had been working
2 weeks.
In
2
that's
weeks.
it. Oh. It kind of felt like it might have been like a month
No, it was
or
2
two.
weeks.
Pretty quick.
They may have had more time, though, before they had that meeting.
Well, from the
Okay.
inquest
All right,
to
gotcha.
Burke propositioning her to go back to LV-426, it was 2 weeks.
Okay.
But this is 17 days later, because the transit time from Earth to Zeta 2 Reticuli is 17 days. This is the USS Sulaco, the 13th ship in the Conestoga fleet of the United States Colonial Marine Corps fleet, has a tachyon shunt engine, and it goes like the clappers. I think it's something like it can do, 234 times the speed of light. Designed by famous
Wow.
designer Sid Mead, who had a bit of influence on Tron. So this is the hypersleep
all right.
chamber of the Sulaco. And I love the quality in this. Those rings at the back, there was another screenshot. I don't know if I've included it in this batch. But when you look at that, it's like a legit cryogenic unit. You know, it's like it's there, it's serving a function, it's specifically designed, and it looks like real deal stuff. You know what I mean? I didn't trump there; it was my chair. So I just thought I'd point that
lively
out.
story.
We have some rum incidents on this channel with this chair, like the time it collapsed and nearly pierced my ring. True story.
Were you at least lubed up enough for it?
Luckily, I was sat far enough back. But I like this. It says,
if you're brave enough.
Oh, yeah. Hypersleep monitor. And then we get a list. And it's funny because the list of the occupants is there on the screen, but doesn't come up until this bit here. And it's funny, some of the names, right, are actually like first initial of the actors. Vasquez, played by Jeanette Goldstein.
Yeah.
Drake, Mark Rolston. Spunkmeyer, Daniel Cash.
It was also William Hudson.
Well, yeah.
But
Bill Paxton.
It was Dwayne Hicks.
Yeah, it's a Dwayne, isn't he?
So not Michael, or who was the guy that was before him? The guy from Dexter. The guy who was supposed to.
Oh, you're kind of spoiling that surprise. You're talking about James Remar.
James Remar, that's right.
Who was originally cast as Hicks. He got found with some illicit substances. Silly boy.
Oh.
So he got fired.
He got fired for it.
He got caught with offensive memes on his phone.
Yeah. He had an opinion. Yeah, like I was saying before, if you look behind where Gorman's hypersleep pod is, just look at that ring thing at the back. It looks like, you know what I mean? Like it serves a real purpose. I know it doesn't. But there's several of these, and they're all identical, and they look just so amazing.
The attention to detail just in this entire med bay, like I was actually just impressed with how these opened, because now when you watch sci-fi movies and they have a similar thing, you can tell it's just kind of like it's this over programmed kind of door mechanism. This feels like it's just like, yeah, it's mechanized, but it's been through some shit. It's been on some missions. You know, this is a thoroughly used and lived in med bay by comparison. So I was a little taken back at how this entire area
in the
functioned.
lore of the alien universe, this ship, it's the 13th in the fleet, and it's been on fire twice. Catches fire again in Alien 3, but the continuity between this and Alien 3 is shockingly bad. There's none of this quality. It's like a car boot version of Aliens.
That's where they put just alien and then even more dollar signs, and there was nothing
Badfoot
else.
says in the chat, there's only 2, the rest are mirrors.
Oh. Oh, hold on. I think I can kind of see it. If you look past the second one, the noticeable gap.
I think once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yep.
It's a good effect. A good practical effect.
If you go back one slide, you can actually see the distortion start coming into. Go forward one.
Doesn't work so well there though, does it?
There. If you have a look in the background, you can see the distortion starts coming in.
Yeah.
By about the 6th.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yes, I do. Yep.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's a good effect though. But I just love the attention of detail in this whole set. It's just fantastic. And there's even little TVs at the bottom, you know, where you've got all your buttons and your glowy bits.
Yeah.
There's some, like, you know, if you look, you can see like a digital readout, the electroluminescent variety from the 80s. So everybody starts waking up. There's Ripley, first up. And look at that. That's your first view after 17 days in hypersleep. What a stunner. It was also in RoboCop 2, if I remember right. Yeah, Atom Gray says mirrors, yeah. And there's Hicks. Bizarrely looks like Kyle Reese from The Terminator.
Oh, a little bit.
Do you know, Michael Biehn had a long-standing working relationship with James Cameron. And he did well in this. He did well in Terminator. But when it came to the Abyss, I think, it was the end of the road for the friendship because there was a certain feel with that film. Everybody came away with a bad taste in the mouth.
It was production
Really?
hell, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I still haven't seen
It's-
the
it's-
Abyss.
I love The Abyss.
Do
I
you?
love it. Yeah, honestly, I love The Abyss.
I find the payoff's a bit weak.
Yeah, it was a little bit disappointing. I really don't rate Michael Biehn much as an actor. I think he's okay if he doesn't have to do any acting. But
Huh.
in The Abyss, he actually, some acting was required and he couldn't do it. I thought he was terrible in Tombstone.
Did
He
you?
was awful as Johnny Ringo.
Yeah, I didn't think you were too bad, but I'll be your Huckleberry.
Especially when you consider how good Val Kilmer was.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Kurt Russell was quite
Kurt
good
Russell.
in this too.
Yep.
I love the fact that Billy Bob Thornton's fat in it.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought that? A fat Billy Bob Thornton.
Before he met Angelina.
Angelina, yeah.
She'd get the calories off you, I reckon.
Yeah, I think she wouldn't be off you, would she? She'd be riding you like a brand new rally
Seabiscuit.
chopper on Christmas morning.
Oh yes.
You had to go the crude, vulgar way, Trevor.
I didn't. No, I did not. I danced
Encouraging you to go
around
to the
it.
gym, She'd
I
encourage
was
you to go to the
tactful. I was tactful.
There's a reason Billy Bob just married her, a couple weeks in or something like that?
Yeah.
gym. I don't think he was.
Well, he's
Like a
from
Bronco.
Arkansas, so that says a lot.
I don't know what that means.
Well, you can legally marry your first cousin in Arkansas. And it's-
Oh. Well, that explains Angelina's other
There's a certain
interests then.
former president from there too, but I can't say the name because people disappear or die mysteriously. I did not come on
Interesting.
your dress, if you know what I mean.
Splurge.
Oh. That explains why his daughter is so far
Yes.
away.
So anyway, we're getting way off track, and I love it.
Yeah.
This is Sergeant Al Apone. Did you know, Melv, that this guy here used to be a Radio 1 DJ?
I did not know that.
Al Matthews was.
Oh.
Yeah, and he was on Capitol.
Really?
Yeah,
But he was ex-military as well, wasn't he?
he was
He
indeed,
was
yeah.
ex-military. I knew he was ex-military, but I didn't know
'Cause
he
he-
was a radio.
He
Yeah.
died a couple of years ago.
No problem. He also released a couple of singles. He was a singer as well. A man of many talents.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's pictures along online of him being at Radio 1. In fact, let me try and... oh, God, I forgot his name now. Al
Al Matthews.
Al Matthews.
Matthews.
According to this, he died in 2018 in Spain.
Yeah. That's right. He had a good life, though, apparently, and he enjoyed what he did.
Well, 76, that's all right. Or just shy of 76.
Yeah.
Good innings.
It's bloody typical, that. Because I want the photo, I can't find it. Let me try this. And I've put it on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen it, Melv. I've put that on quite a few times, haven't I, in the past? I don't know if you saw it. Obviously not.
That
Anyway.
that check mark is not quite paying for itself, is it?
No. Don't get me started. I'll not be doing that again.
No, this
know.
guy here, Frost,
Rico Ross.
Rico Ross.
Rico Ross.
So his name is Rico Frost in this. And he was on the Michael Biehn podcast. I think it's called Just Fooling Around with Michael Biehn.
Yeah.
And he's interviewed some of the cast. And he interviewed him. It was quite a good interview. He's had quite a good career as well, doing different things. I would recommend the Michael Biehn podcast for this one, and the Mark Ralston interview. That was a good one as well.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. This is quite a good scene. Vasquez says to Pharaoh, "Hey, Mira, who's Snow White?" And she says, apparently she's some kind of consultant. Apparently she saw an alien once. Hey, whoop you fucking do, I'm impressed. Which
Do you
is...
know you know the one thing with Vasquez? The
What?
one thing that really surprised me with her is that she was John Connor's mum in Terminator 2.
She was, and she was the communications officer on the Excelsior.
Yep.
She was one of the vampires.
Science officer,
in
sorry.
Near Dark as well.
She was indeed. Jeanette Goldstein.
And she's not Mexican.
She's
Nope.
Jewish.
4x2-ish.
So, I missed a bit there. Goes, hey, Vasquez, you ever been mistaken for a man? No, have you? But there's a bit of a weird chemistry between Drake. And Vasquez.
Yeah.
I don't quite, I don't know. I don't quite, it's not sexual. Do you know what I mean? But it's like on a very deep relationship basis.
It's
So
almost
anyway,
bros before hoes, to be honest.
yeah,
That's
possibly.
what it feels like. It's the camaraderie being in the armed forces, and she's a badass.
Yeah. So it's chow time aboard the Sulaco. And this is leading up to a great scene. And then you hear in the background, yeah, dumbass colonists. Ripley's just like, what? And then this is Spunkmeyer, and he says, what the hell's this crap supposed to be? And Nick says, cornbread, I think. Oh, no, I think Frost says cornbread. And Hicks says, eat it, boy, it's good for you. If you look there, that's Daniel Cash, right, plays Spunkmeyer. More recently, he was in The Expanse.
Expanse, yeah, because he was the doctor, wasn't he?
He was the evil scientist testing out the proto-molecule on people, yeah.
Yep.
It was very logical in that, but I couldn't believe it was him. And there's only a few scenes in all the film where you, like, look at him and go, yeah, it is him. It's one of those, like, blink and you'll miss it moments, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. Bizarre. And this is a great bit. Frost says, I sure wouldn't mind getting some more of that Octurian poontang. And, like, Hudson's like, yeah. And then Spunkmeyer says, yeah, except the one you had was a male. Doesn't matter with those Octurians, baby. And then Hudson says, oh, Bishop, do the thing with the knife. And this is quite a good scene. Lance Henriksen practiced consistently to get this right. And I suppose even if it's a prop knife, you still run the risk of hurting yourself if you, miscalculate where you're going with it.
He actually stabbed his hand during practice.
Yeah?
Yeah. And the use of Hudson's hand was actually not scripted.
Really?
Yeah, correct. Because he was originally to do it with just his hand. But
Right.
then the rest of him grabbed Hudson's hand or Bill Paxton's hand. And then they put it there. And that's why his reaction is the way it is. Because it's completely genuine.
Yeah, because Drake comes up and manhandles him and forces his hand under Bishop's. So he starts doing this thing with a knife and he's really going for it. Everybody's like having a good laugh. And Hudson's just cacking it. I mean, look at that. And I hope that expression is sort of part genuine.
Yep.
Especially with the circumstances you mentioned, Tomby. But it's a great scene. And Bishop's like, thank you. Yes, Melv.
Oh, it's all right. We'll get back to it later.
No, it's all right.
There's another scene I could bring it up on. It'll probably make more sense.
Right.
Yeah, I'll give you. Okay. Bill Paxton. Now, I remember reading back in the day that Bill Paxton hated his performance so much in this film that he had a mental breakdown.
Really?
And I can't find anything about it online. I've searched, but I couldn't find anything about it. But I remember reading it back in the 1980s.
Yeah.
When the film was up.
Similar to what Tom Hardy experienced after Star Trek Nemesis.
Did he?
He was so disappointed about that, it made him depressed.
Well, yeah, Bill Paxton, I think, had a lot of mental problems anyway, like suffering with depression and things like that. And this year kind of, like, put him through one of the blackest spells of his life.
Well, he was originally a chippy for Roger Corman. That's how he knew James Cameron. Because he built some of the sets on Battle Beyond the Stars.
Yeah.
And James Cameron was the art director for that flick.
We're
going to be doing that soon on Monday Night Mayhem, by the way.
That was the kind of thing, the story behind Harrison Ford getting the part for Han Solo, wasn't it?
Yeah, because George Lucas went to Francis Ford Coppola's, and they were sort of like mulling through some bits for Star Wars. And he got Harrison Ford to come in and read with people, didn't he?
Yeah. The story I remember is that Harrison Ford was putting on a door.
Yeah, that's right.
And they asked him to come in because they knew him because he was previously an actor, but he had quit. He was in American Graffiti.
Yeah, that's right.
Which was a Lucasfilm. And he just asked him to come in and read the lines just to get somebody to read them.
Mm.
And he ended up getting the part. It's very, very serendipitous.
Yeah. And it's funny. Nobody sort of twigs that Bishop's not actually eating anything and he's helping to serve food. So Ripley's just munching away. And then Hicks says, looks like the new lieutenant's too good to eat with the rest of us grunts. And then Frost says, boy's definitely got a corn cob up his ass. And then Burke says, I thought you never missed, Bishop. And the look on Ripley's face when she sees that white milky substance.
Mm.
Don't get excited, Vex. It's milk.
Sorry, it's just white milky substances.
I noticed,
really get me
yeah.
going. Sorry.
And then she says, you never said anything about an android on board. Why not? And Burke's like, well, it must have slipped my mind. It's common practice. We always bring a synthetic. And then Bishop's like, I prefer the term artificial person. Why? Is there a problem?
Wonder what his pronouns are.
Yeah. Radio and Shack, I think. Possibly. And then Burke's just so nonchalant about it. He goes, I don't know why he didn't even mention this. Ripley's last trip out, there was a problem with the artificial person. A few problems and a few deaths occurred. I'm shocked. Was it an older model? Yeah, the Hyperdyne Systems 128.2. Well, the A2s always were a bit twitchy. That cannot happen now with our behavioral inhibitors. You sure you don't want some cornbread? And she whacks it right out of their hand. Everybody stops, and it's like, what the fuck? Oh, look, there he is. There he is. There's an inside joke about aliens. There he is. Where's Bowski? The character's name's Wierzbowski, played by stuntman Trevor Steadman. And a lot of people thought, in the hive scene, where they're saying, where's Bowski? They thought, where's Bowski, not Wierzbowski.
Yeah, I think the actor died as well.
Pardon?
I think that actor is dead as well.
Really? He was alive not so long back. I saw some pictures of him.
Hold up. Well, I mean, the pictures could have been taken while he was alive.
Well, yeah, you never know.
Let's see.
He looks like a Poundland Bob Hoskins, doesn't he? Bless him.
Trevor Steedman. Yeah, he passed away in 2016.
Oh, Trevor Steadman's dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crikey. I did not know that.
That's sorry.
I was going to say he's from down south where I am as well.
Yeah, he's a Londoner, isn't he?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, I'm shocked about that. So when if you ever hear the meme, where's Bowski? And it's Wierzbowski, it's down to him. I'm just being a geek twat, and let's carry on. Sorry about that.
For years.
You'll never get those. If you're watching on the re-rub and you're in the chat, you will never get those moments back. Gavin Blackburn's just mentioned, just hold on a sec, Rex. Gavin Blackburn said in the chat, Sador of the Malmori. That is a good shout to Battle Beyond the Stars. I think we'll be doing that in 3 weeks here on Monday Night Mayhem. Yes, Vex, sorry to interrupt you, Doc.
Oh, no worries at all. No worries at all. I just want to point out, I really hate that just like, get away from her, you bitch. The whole, it's an older model android, and that's why we're evil. I hate this justification that's been taken from this movie and applied to literally every alien movie since.
It's been a bit copy and paste with the format, hasn't it? Which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah.
You know
Just
what they
a
should
bit.
have done when they said it's an older model android, and they said, what one? And he goes, it was the Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a terrible one.
Not the Hyperdyne Systems 128.2.
Oh, the Bilbo Baggins got corrupted by this ring, and they were all shit after that.
But Lance Henriksen does actually, if you were to presume somebody was an android, he really does look the part. He was originally slated in to be the actor to play the Terminator.
Oh, what happened?
Some names on the table. They wanted Billy Idol initially, but he wasn't available. So Lance says, I'll do it. And then they turn around and said, well, we want somebody who actually, looks a bit more robotic and a bit beefy, like, there's an exoskeleton under there. So that's why they went with Arnold Schwarzenegger, plus that and the bad Austrian accent. But Cameron said, now do you want to be a robot? He didn't turn it down. And it's good. He looks so harmless and unassuming in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. He's in that as well. I guess she don't like the cornbread either. I do apologise to anybody who may be black. Sorry, not sorry. But I'm doing it for context. Anyway, this is the interior of the hangar bay of the Sulaco. 2 Cheyenne dropships there. They have got a ridiculously long name like the HD8100 or some dopey shit like that. Yes, Badfoot says he was a policeman in T1. Yes, he was a detective with Paul. Oh, what's his name? Paul Wynn something another. He was the captain of the Reliant in Star Trek 2. Oh, God, what's his name? Played Captain Terrell. Paul Wynn something another. It'll come to me eventually. Do excuse me. So, Gorman and everybody else comes on deck, and Apone says, "Squad, turn head, officer on deck." As you were, people. So he's giving them a bit of a chat. It's like saying, "I'm sorry we didn't have time to brief you before we left Gateway." So it's obvious this was all a bit of a rush. And another fan theory suggests that these guys were picked specifically because they were crap. They wanted a low chance of survival of the mission so they could have viable specimens returned.
Interesting.
And
that actually
the whole unit would have to have been crap then because they all knew each other.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Rather than just picking individuals.
But I mean, arguably, the end goal was to get something viable back to Earth. So, yeah, for them to be the runt of the litter is probably quite credible.
And another factor is Gorman is very green. So his lack of military experience is there to hinder the team from any success.
This was something that bothered me years later. It didn't bother me at the time, but when you reach a stage where you start looking for flaws in things, and how shit an officer Gorman was just didn't really work well for me, because I really don't think you're going to get somebody in that position that's really that incompetent.
I don't know. It happens a lot in military circles.
Yeah,
it seems like everybody else in the unit seems like better and more confident than he is. It just doesn't seem very likely.
Officers are a different class, to be fair.
Yeah. At the end of the day, at some point in time, officers just end up going into the field, and you either make it or break it. And I've seen it far too many times.
Just to add to that theory, I guess it kind of makes sense why they had this. I mean, I know that there's already that kind of like that brotherly camaraderie kind of thing, but like there's several times where, oh God, what's the black guy's name?
Apone.
Yeah, where he kind of disciplines several of them, or even like right after this scene happens, he's like, "Hudson," like, he tries to discipline him there. So
he's
that
a staff sergeant.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be a mean bastard,
I guess, but I don't know. I can kind of I get it. It also would be an easy way to dispatch of Ripley. Just get rid of the one hinge that is maybe in their ability to get that $42 million claim.
Yeah, where there's a blame, there's a claim. So anyway, Gorman says, I'll let Ripley take over. She gives them a bit of spiel about what happened on the Nostromo, and they're just like, "What the fuck?" I mean, that just says it all.
Where they are.
Yeah, Vasquez says, "I only need to know one thing, where they are." Yeah, Vasquez, kick ass. Right. Somebody said alien. They thought they said illegal aliens signed up. Fuck you, man. Yeah.
Good line.
There is so many iconic pop culture lines in this film. It is unreal. In fact, there's a part of the film later where there's about 3 or 4 classic liners in one scene, and it's a grim scene, Paul Winfield, thank you, Destron Solar. I knew you'd know that one. So Ripley says to Vasquez, "I hope you're right. I really do." Anyway, we have Ripley's report on file. I suggest you read it. But everybody's sort of like put out. And then she goes with that, just one of those things managed to wipe out my entire crew in less than 24 hours. And then Hudson's like, what's up, Private? How do I get out of this chicken shit outfit?
You stole that shit, Hudson.
Yeah. How do I get out of the chicken shit outfit? You secure that shit, Hudson. So Gorman tries to be the man, but he's got no he's green as he is cabbage looking, isn't he, basically, Tomby?
Yeah.
He's got no field experience at all, this guy.
Yes, 100%.
All he's done is been in simulators and
it's all theory.
Yeah, in classrooms.
Yeah.
And he's earned his commission not by doing, pretty much, as you get in the military.
Yep.
So he starts to lose his shit about it, and he starts putting his foot down, making some demands. And then Apone's like, Hudson, come here. So Hudson's going to get a bollocking. But just look at the design of that ship, the Sulaco. Like I said before, designed by industrial futurist designer Sid Mead. He was a genius. Brilliant.
It looked great. It doesn't look very practical, but it does look great. But I mean, practical wouldn't be interesting. It would just be a square or something.
Yeah, well, James Cameron's remit was make it look like a big gun in space.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like one of their guns.
Yeah, and it's just loaded to the hilt with weaponry and artillery. It just screams it's going to kick ass. And there's some great shots in this film, very subtle but really well done. So they're all prepping, getting stuff ready. There's some nukes and whatever, and Apone says, close this loading dock. But that's a bit of foreshadowing. And this is a bit of foreshadowing too. This is the Caterpillar cargo loader. And these are great. I've seen people go at cosplay dressed in one of these things, made out of foam.
Mm-hmm.
Have you, has anyone watched Community here? The TV show? The Halloween episode where Troy and Abed are the alien and Ripley in the loader.
I remember that. Donald Glover dressed up as Ripley. He's got that wig on. That is amazing. That is a great episode. Just look at that. The attention to detail. This is 1986, and this is real world building. I mean, fair enough, it's
crazy.
A Pinewood set.
And that loader is practical.
It is.
It's a practical effect.
It is. All right. Okay. The loader, the effect is practical, but the loader itself is not a practical looking machine. I used to drive forklifts, and you would think as soon as it picks anything up, it's going to fall over in real life. But yeah, practical effect. I thought you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you meant the other.
Yeah. But that is just great.
Unless its legs are made of lead.
Yeah, or if
it's to balance off the weight.
It's the future.
Magnetic feet that lock down when it picks something up.
It's like garlic bread. It's the future. You've just got to just let it go.
Garlic on bread.
Bread with garlic.
Yeah,
it's the future.
It rhymes.
Yeah.
Garlic
you've just got to just not think too hard about it. But this is a good scene. Ripley says, "Is there anything I can do? I feel like a spare wheel around here." And Apone says, "Is there anything you can do?" She said, "I can drive that loader. I've got a class 2 rating." He's like, "By all means." So she gets in it, gives it a bit of a whirl. And this is foreshadowing for later. There's a lot of foreshadowing before they even get down on the planet. A lot of this stuff comes into play later on in the film.
Set up and payoff.
Yeah. It's almost like J.B. Priestley's wrote this, the amount of foreshadowing in it. But I just like this. Look, there's a random knob on the wall with an arrow pointing to it. It's just stuff like this. That bit there above that writing, you know where it says S53BN? Just look at that. Mm-hmm. That's the back of an old TV set, and there's another one at the side of it.
I was going to say, that's the back of a CRT.
Yeah.
Glued to the wall.
An old TV set.
It's a Sony Trinitron.
Yeah. Just shit like that. It's just, wow. I mean, it holds up to scrutiny even in HD. But this looks battle-worn and weathered, and it looks like it's been used and it's had a hard life. So this is some real-world technology in this universe. And it looks great. And if you look at the bottom of the feet there, they're not flat. They've like got treads on them. Can you see them?
Hmm.
So whoever designed this, it might have been Ron Cobb off the top of my head, but it's still great. So Hicks is looking all like, yeah, I might get a shag later. Good luck with that, you're going to need it. Apone's not impressed. And she says, where do you want it? And Apone goes, B12, please. You get to see B12 later, much later. So Slarko's above LV-426. And these spaceship shots are so sublime. They're subtle, but they really work well. So here's Rico Ross with an M41A pulse rifle. So he's a bit of an armory guy, so he's helping everybody get set up. That's Drake and Vasquez with the smart guns. There's something interesting about them later. They run off headphone jacks.
When Mark Rawson was getting interviewed, he said he kept that gun.
Really?
And he wanted to sell it. And somebody told him, some dealer told him it was worth something like $200,000 or something. So he phoned up his ex-wife and he said, right, I need my gun, the property aliens, because the gun was still in their former house that she lived in. And she said, no, I threw all that stuff out.
Oh.
I'd have killed her. That would have been the end.
Yeah.
If I was Mark Rawson, I'd have been sent to Shawshank.
Yeah. So it was a Thompson submachine gun with a Spaz 12 shotgun bolted underneath.
Just on Ash's comment, I think she knew how to use the power loader because she'd been working at the docks or whatever in the 2 weeks before she went into hyper.
Yeah. She's a quick study, though.
So she's
smart.
Yeah. We figured that out in the first movie. Yeah.
Hail to Ash928 in the chat. That is a good shout, Ash. I like that. And this is a good look at the Cheyenne dropship. And the level of detail on this thing as well. I mean, the interior, I mean, it was, for all intents and purposes, like a floating set. They'd move it around a pine wood. It's just so good how they did it. And it just, all the equipment looks like everyday use. You know, these people have done it day in, day out. Nothing's impressive to them. All this technology, it's just every day. So Ripley's looking all pensive at the dropship. And this thing here, interesting story about this. This used to be an airport,
a luggage.
How can I put it? Like a tow truck for 747s. Yeah. So this is a piece of ex-Heathrow equipment. Yeah. And it's just made up to look like a futuristic APC.
You know what? Like the $18 million budget kind of makes sense because look at how much he's just repurposing for the sake of building up this, just the setting alone, which is that's really impressive. Like, how often do you see set design go that far these days? I think Mad Max Fury Road is the last one that I'm aware of that did that. If you watch the behind the scenes there or even read some of the interviews, the set designers were given something like 16 months to kind of create the wasteland appearance and the backgrounds and everything. And they just went to like a ton of, was it like scrap yards and stuff to repurpose it because they had a strict budget to work in. So those are all real that they built and they just, repurposed everything. Nothing was brand new.
Well, the thing is, if you're even if you've got a generous budget, you know, I like believing in make use of what you've got.
Yeah,
500,000 was spent on costumes and props.
That's crazy.
1.5 million on creature design and puppetry.
There you
3
go.
million.
That's what it actually looked like at the top. Yeah. That's the tow truck for 747s.
Wow.
And the second one's obviously your various stage of build. And there's your actual thing at the end there.
That's bloody good, isn't it?
Yeah, for what it is. And I've lost my place now. It happens. Nobody died. Well, nobody's died yet. We'll see what happens. Now I'm going to have to go through all these bloody things again. Hang on. I'm not very well prepared, am I? So we were about here, weren't we? So they're all getting ready to go down to LV426. That is a beast. Can you imagine going to Tesco's in that?
There were other scenes where they used a small model as well, wasn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, it's a remote control prop. So these guys
park it up in a disabled bay.
Yeah. You'd be hard pressed to find enough space in that window, wouldn't you, to put your blue badge? And they're all getting ready and prepped. Apone gets them all a bit riled up. Everybody grabs the weapons. They get on the Ready Line Marine. Absolute badasses. Just pack them on in. So they're all getting into the APC, which is this is just great. Obviously, it's not inside that, for want of a better word, that jet tow truck. Obviously, this is a proper little miniature set. And it looks convincing. It looks as though it serves the purpose it's designed for.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this. All these guys, they've got cameras on the helmets, and they've all got biometric readouts as well. So this is like a nerve center. And it just looks so practical.
They're all wearing Fitbits.
Yeah. And I love how the APC just reverses into the dropship.
Makes an interesting comment. I love how they bothered to give even the minor character Marines some semblance of a character. I can actually remember most of these characters' names despite how little screen time they have.
Yeah, but you didn't know where's Bowski.
Like the same. Okay, listen, I said most. Okay, this is why I said most. All right. But like it's the same thing with like Predator, right? Predator, you don't see all of the individual like secondary characters get a lot of screen time, but you know them by name, like not even by the halfway point. Then you watch a movie like fucking Romulus, and I don't know anyone's.
That is just
the android.
Yeah.
Yeah, even like Predators, which was I guess one of the better Predator sequels, I still don't know anyone's names, and I've seen that movie about a dozen times.
That's the thing. There's no character building. There's no depth to the characters.
Yeah.
They're all like all these movies now. They're just like fast food products. They just bang them out.
It's all the characters are just placeholders for like conflict almost. They're not there to actually, like you said, provide any depth, which is quite disappointing.
So the dropship's getting loaded into its drop platform. And this is just so believable. And I just love the detail. I mean, like you can see the heads moving about. James Cameron likes using back projection. And this is obviously a bit of back projection of LV426. It's just so good. It's a trick he learnt from working with Roger Corman. So Ferro's giving him a countdown, 5, 4, 3. And then it just, like it says on the tin, it's a dropship. And it literally drops
Express
from the bottom.
elevator going down.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, I feel a bit patronising telling people about this film. A lot of people have actually seen this film. But...
oh, no. Patronize us more, please, Trev.
So this is where Hudson says the line, Tomby. I know you said it, so say it again, my man.
I can't remember what I just said now.
Express elevator to hell.
That's the one. Express elevator going down.
Yeah. It's just such a great scene. And then, like, she goes, 3, 2, 1, mark. When the dropship, woof, it's gone.
Yeah.
And look at that. It's like they're on Rita, Queen of Speed at Alton Towers or something like that. The reactions are great. Everybody's stomachs have gone in the mouths. And it just drops deliciously out of the Sulaco. Straight into the atmosphere of LV426. None of all that convoluted bollocks with the Nostromo landing there. This is just straight into it. We get some nice head-up displays. And she says, we're in the pipe, 5x5. Fly me friendly skies. What's she trying to say? She's a good ride?
I think that's it. fly the friendly skies.
Oh, I thought. Oh, yeah. That's my bad, Melv. You know. This is a good bit. How many drops is this for you, Lieutenant? And he says 38 simulated. And Vasquez says, how many combat drops? 2, including this one. And they're all like, they all look at each other like, we're fucking boned, big style. This guy is green.
This must have been a new officer for them then.
Yeah.
It was brand new.
Oh, I did have a. Sorry, you passed the scene, but this is reminding me. So when Ripley is explaining to them like what the mission is, and she's trying to recount what happened, on the Nostromo and whatnot, did she? Oh my god. Oh, okay. Vasquez says, "Is this a bug hunt?"
Oh, it's Hudson. He goes. So is this a stand-up fight, sir, or another bug hunt?
Yeah. What another bug hunt?
Well, their unit's called the Bug Stompers.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they go to other colonies to obviously sort things out. There are some non-human species in the canon of aliens. The Arcturians, for example. They're a non-human species. They're bipedal, but they're not human, and they're sexually ambiguous, as Frost found out because the one he had was a male. Look at this. They're all like, oh, man. And Burke looks at Ripley and it's like, well, that wasn't so bad, was it? And Burke was shitting himself, somewhat chronic. And I love these heads-up displays. This is how used they are to these missions. Hicks has gone to sleep. And he's getting rattled around quite a lot. And there's a big point of showing us these cameras. They've all got helmet-mounted cameras. And we get a bit of a looky-loo. And then we see the biometric readouts. So this is, yet again, more world-building. You know, we get to find out some parameters of the mission. We've got sound and vision. We've also got health readings. And here's where Gorman says, Drake, check your camera. There seems to be a malfunction. And he just bangs his head.
He's just smashed
on that metal frame. And then, it works. So
switch it off and switch it on again.
It says 3 minutes. Somebody wake up Higgs. I just love that bit. And as Dead Star was saying, he loves how the wings fold out. This bit looks so cool. And it's also kind of reminiscent. It kind of looks to me a bit like a facehugger sometimes. No, it's probably just me.
Looks like a beetle where the carapace opens up so the wings can get out.
And I like this bit. Ferro says, where's the damn beacon? Oh, I see it. And the beacon is on top of the Weyland-Yutani AC12630 atmospheric processor. That serial number is total bullshit. I made that up off the top of my head, but it sounded convincing. But it is a Weyland-Yutani atmosphere processor. And Ripley says, is that the atmosphere processor? Yeah, a remarkable piece of machinery. You know, we manufacture those, by the way. He tries to make the cell. And James Cameron did some, proof of concept shots with a video camera. And this is the footage. So all the bits you see, from an external camera point of view, were all shot by James Cameron on a Sony home video camera. Circa 1985. So it looks quite good.
It does, yeah.
But there's Burke trying to make the cell. And just for scale's sake, you see this. And the bloody thing is absolutely massive. I've got some photos to show us before we do the next set of slides. Well, there we go again. James Cameron's home video again. And they have a good circle round.
That sounds naughty.
It does, doesn't it? I wonder what he's filmed on his home video camera. You've got a dirty mind, Fax. That's why we love you.
No, I don't. What do you mean?
Do you know, I can hear you blushing over the internet. Calm down, dear. Do you need a moment, love?
Someone needs a bloody towel to dry out.
Crikey. Have you gone soggy or something?
I have so little sleep over the last 3 days.
Does that explain the moistness?
Yeah. There's a dampness in the air.
Oh gosh. Oh
gosh,
no.
you mean.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And I love how this dropship comes in. You just calm down a second, dear. Have a moment. And there we go. Look, Bug Stomper. Something about, was that something species? Can't quite make that out. I don't know. Probably something like we extinct species or something. I don't know. So anyway, dropship. This is a great model. I love the detail on this bloody thing. Same with the APC. Touches down, APC goes flying out, expertly driven by Android Bishop, and it just flies off. And the dropship goes, obviously, probably to a landing strip, because there is one on site, apparently. So the APC goes rocking and rolling, and it says, all right, 2 minutes, people. So he's prepping everybody. They're all kind of shitting it. You look at the expressions on their faces. They genuinely look a little bit like they're scared.
Concerned, yep.
But a lot, just the level of detail on this thing. So the APC doors open up, everybody starts flying out, first squad. And I love these binoculars. They actually look quite convincing. And to say that's a set of models, they all look really, really good. Like it's something in use. Just look at those. Oh, wow. Oh, thank you for joining us, MC. Apparently you didn't get a notification. You got to hit that bell, guys. You don't miss out then.
Apparently even the bells have been a little bit
Yeah,
off
for
lately.
everybody. Ash928 says, Bishop is a great guy. You can't bash him. Would you bash Bishop, Melv?
No, you're all right.
About you, Tomby.
No, I'll let you do it.
No, I'll take a pass. I'm married. Oh, hang on. I might end up doing it then because I am married. Anyway. First squad, move out. And I love these guns. I mean, fair enough. The M41s are actually made of 2 real-world guns, but the smart gun, it's on a Steadicam pivot.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it cost as much as it did, because those things were ridiculously expensive. And James Cameron managed to wangle 2 from the budget.
It has part of a motorbike in it as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, the bit of the frame, doesn't it? And some headphone jacks. Which, you know, I'll show an image later. So this is the North Lock of Hadley's Hope Colony. Doors are locked. Hudson run a bypass.
Run a bypass.
And he's straight on it. And just a level of bloody detail. Second squad. So they're up, providing support for the first squad. Hudson runs a bypass on the doors. And we get a nice little, oh, it's open now. And, yeah.
Is that the exact accent he uses?
It's 100% the accent he uses.
I've gone a bit tater. I'm sorry.
Do you know what technology didn't age very well in this? Is the shoulder-mounted lamps.
Yeah, true.
Agreed. It tells the era.
It's a huge box on the back, which I'm assuming must be the battery, and then the lamp itself going over the head. Would you think of like LEDs and things they have now? For see like the kind of lights you wear if you go fishing, you know, just be a flat thing stuck on the front of your head.
Actually, you know what? The boxes aside, the thing that I thought dated this movie the most is when Ripley finds Newt, and Newt is just like, she's pretty respectful when she talks, and just like, this isn't accurate. Kids these days would be saying like skibbity riz and all this stuff if you found them.
Skibbity riz.
You know, on the band color. Right? Children aren't like that anymore.
Skibbity riz. That's some pretty harsh language there, Vex.
So just to give you a level of detail here, this is an actual picture of the model used for the atmosphere processor. And how big do you think that is?
Couple centimeters, maybe?
You think?
I'm going to take a guess at...
Yeah, I was going to say about 30 inches.
I was going to say 6 feet, and you gave us the answer before I had my guess. Yeah. That was pretty evil.
Yeah, it's 6 foot. It's 6 foot tall, not including the antennas on top.
Wow. Yeah.
So there's one of the prop guys just spraying up and adding a few more weathering details. Well, that thing is bloody impressive. You've got to give credit to these model makers.
Hmm.
Another one here. Good like that. Just the detail of the bloody thing.
Yeah, the only way you're going to get detail like that is to have it as a fairly chunky piece of kit in the first place.
I mean, the thing's bloody 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
I just dread to think how much it'd weigh. Crikey. I bet you need a forklift for it.
Well, at least they got loaders then.
Yeah. So we crack open the doors. Vasquez is on point and the first one in. And these sets, if you look, every now and again, you'll see what the actual thing is. There's a lot of just weird shit just glued to walls. Random weird shit. So Gorman, or Gormless as we'll call him, Destron Solar says Skibidi is all the rage with the kids these days. So moving on. Yeah, I mean, I love these lamps and whatnot. Apparently they were really heavy because they needed quite a chunky battery to actually keep them running. Because they were halogen lamps. Apparently they threw off quite a lot of heat as well. Some of the actors complained profusely, but James Cameron's like, oh, suck it up, dear.
So they filmed some of these scenes inside a power station, didn't they?
They do a little bit later on, the ones inside the atmosphere processor. Battersea, I'm led to believe. Or something like that, anyway. But I just love how you've got a bird's eye view from the soldier's point of view. And all the stats, health reading. Oh, motion trackers. These are very prominent a little bit later on in the film. These things are just so great. And people have tried to make real ones, but like prop versions for like Comic-Cons and stuff. So if you've like got 300 or 400 quid knocking about, you can have one of these. Just so you can go around Comic-Con.
Are these not... Are motion trackers not a real piece of military equipment?
I don't know.
No,
probably
is. Not to that level. Because we're talking, because they're basically working on sonar, and that's not going to do what you.
What about micro changes in air density?
Oh, nice, like it. There's so anybody that wants to play a fairly decent game, play Alien Isolation, and you can get a mod for the game that actually uses the same sound as that device, and it is.
I love that game. I never get bored of playing that. But yeah, Alien Colonial Marines, which I waited for with passion. I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
Is it a bad game?
It was rushed.
I haven't had a chance.
It was rushed. A lot of bugs in it. The gameplay's horrendous. You get stuck on scenery.
Yeah.
There's so many like little bits you can get caught up on, especially in the engine room. There's a set of stairs, and I seem to fall through the stairs and get stuck in them. But the Xenos can't get me either, which is the weird thing.
There were a lot of fan-made fixes for that game, but I don't think anybody ever fixed it properly.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Was that a tie-in game with one of the Alien movies?
Well, it's Alien Colonial Marines. It's supposed to follow on from Aliens.
Yeah. Is Colonial Marines canon? It came out... Is it canon?
Yeah, it is canon.
Yeah.
No, I thought, didn't Colonial Marines come out in like 2002?
Well, they all come out. There's quite a lot of games. There was it Fire Team, the last one?
Fire Team Elite.
Yes.
Which was which I haven't played yet.
Is that before or after Dark Descent?
It was.
It's before.
I think that's before. They came out very close together, but Fire Teams is fun. It's just one of those, you get a group and you shoot things, but it's nothing extraordinary, nothing unique. It's pretty disappointing.
It doesn't really have it doesn't give you the atmosphere.
Yeah, that too. And it was buggy as
just
hell.
A few comments in the chat. Alien vs Predator is a great game. Yeah, I agree with that. The original one. MC says my mate has the motion tracker sound as his message alert. I like that.
That is good.
And Ash928 says Alien Trilogy on the PS1 was great. If you want to know the cheat code for that, it's I got pink 8 Sid boots on.
Yep. I've got
there you go.
Boots on. I remember that.
That is such a great game. I still play it on occasion. Oh, I used to play the Alien. Yeah, me too. And in fact, now I've got that music, that dum, 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 doo, doo, that really crappy music. And I'm very disappointed in one of these colonists. Yeah, fair enough. Xenomorphs are attacking and taking everybody to be hosts. What don't you leave behind? You know how they say in the military, you don't leave a man behind.
Yeah. Donut.
What? You don't leave a fucking donut behind. Come on.
Donut and a cup of coffee.
Oh, the coffee I can forgive, but not a donut.
Maybe it's not a donut. Maybe it's not a donut. Maybe it's a poo. He just stopped and did a poo on the desk.
I don't know.
He's only fighting for his life.
Yeah, but it was glazed.
At least use it as a weapon.
You can eat while you're moving.
Or eat it.
I mean, you could fit all of that donut in your mouth in one go. You wouldn't have had to lift it.
Well, the thing is, it might impede a facehugger getting its tubule down your throat.
Yeah, maybe they're allergic to donuts.
I mean, most donuts are soft, though. So
Well, that one's a bit soggy. It's been damp for 17 days.
Just like Vex.
Yeah.
Ooh, controversial.
Don't call me out, please.
And this is a great shout back because Ripley notices this on Hicks's remote camera. And she says, Hicks, back up, pan right. And it's like, oh, acid for blood. Looks like somebody bagged one of Ripley's bad guys here. And then...
This is...
Yeah, so we get to find some bits and Burke says acid for blood. And Hudson says, if you like that, you'll love this. And there's quite a big hole in the ceiling. Yeah, adios. I like that on Vasquez's gun. Yeah, so they determine there's not a deal going off. So Gorman says, yeah, it's safe to go in. And Ripley's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And then Hudson says, it's coming in. I feel safer already. And then Vasquez chunters some not kind words in Spanish, I presume. So Burke brings... Gorman brings Ripley and Burke into the Hadley's Hope colony. And there's signs of like something really bad happened. No shit is the response.
The names would be less confusing if they just called everybody John.
Yeah, pretty much. Like our movie last week, which was Buckaroo Banzai, where all the bad guys was called John. And so were some of the good guys too. I think whatever happened here, we missed it. Oh, that's a great line. So they're going into operations, but they've got to go through medical first. And they start cutting through all these like lockers and stuff. And there's a great bit here. Rip is like, Poot, you can hear a squeak. Her ass clenches. Because in here, there's a bunch of facehuggers. And Ix summons Gorman. And Burke's like, are they the same ones? And he's like dead interested. He's really, because he wants one of these. And Ripley says, careful, Burke. He turns back round, and it's Fanny Face.
Ugh.
That looks like a tuppence.
Oh, it is.
A tuppence with a willy.
Definitely a mouse's ear.
It's tighter than a mouse's ear roll. It does. It just looks like a lady part.
If only Buck had known how common they actually were. If you go by the sequels.
Yeah.
I always called these vagina spiders before I figured out they were called face
spiders.
That's because that's what they look like, right? When I was a teenager, it's just like that's a vagina on a spider's body. That's all that is.
The original Alien, the artwork that the Alien was based on, the
H.R. Giger.
The alien had a penis for a head. That was.
I mean, it still kind of has a
Not
knob
bad.
for a head.
Well, they
to be
changed
honest.
it slightly, you know.
Yeah.
But
Not bad. Sorry, I'm getting a bit northern on you. Look at him there, he's a right knobhead. It's funny that. I like that. And this is another great line. Looks like love at first sight to me. Yeah.
He knows what's up. There you go.
And I like this because we get a bit analytical here because Bishop's, he's an android. He's a bit matter of fact. And he says, two are alive, the rest are dead. Surgically removed before embryo implantation. Marichet, John J. died during the procedure. They killed him taking it off.
Yeah.
Which is a great line. There's some brilliant dialogue in this film. I know a lot of people look back at it and say it's 80s cheese, but It's done right.
Yeah, I wouldn't even mark it as cheesy because it's not like it goes out of its way to make those one-liners. It works within the context of what's happening, the characters thus far,
It's
the
all a part of
personalities
their
around
universe.
It, so.
It's the world in what they live in, and it's the world. But that world building's there to inform us and make it more real, and it bloody well does. Frosty says, "Yo, Hicks, I think we got something." So the motion tracker starts kicking into life
for his handheld vacuum.
Yeah, it's like a little Dyson thing, isn't it?
Yep.
And this is how to build tension, isn't it? This is how it's done properly. I mean, if you take it as an example of the bad stuff, Andor, which was like 3 seasons of a fucking wedding, right? And that's supposed to be a slow burn, you know. And this here, you've got. I mean, how far into the film were we before we even see an alien? You know.
Well, we've seen a facehugger. This is like 40 minutes in at this point.
It's all just feeding you a little bit, an inch at a time, you know.
Yeah. It gives you crumbs, doesn't it? It doesn't give you the whole picnic like a lot of films do nowadays. Because I think that spoils it because the payoff is there too quick and there's no build-up, there's no drama, there's no tension, there's no pacing. It's all bang, 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 bang. Because, you know, kids have got TikTok bloody spans these days, haven't they?
Yeah, no jump scares or anything like that. You can't, if you're seeing the alien or whatever the monster is, you're seeing it from the very, very beginning. You can't get a scare out of it. You've seen too much of it to have any kind of apprehension.
Do you know what makes me laugh about this bit here? It's like the 22nd century, and there's a 1984 Tefal deep fat fryer there.
It's a deep fat fryer, wasn't it?
Yeah. I want to make some chips.
Yeah, you know, chips are timeless.
And Burke is such a twat. To say he's a lieutenant, he knocks that soda stream gas canister thing off, and that's a bit of a jump scare because they all shit their pants, and everybody looks at Burke like he's farted. And then the tension rebuilds. It's like you get that bit of a jump scare, and it's like, got you.
Yeah.
But the tension is straight back on. It's palpable in places.
Yeah, your butthole relaxes for a couple of seconds, and then it's
mine didn't.
It's still on. It's still. I
like how they Scooby Doo around the doors as well. It's like they just like stick the head like there we go. He'd have gotten away with it too, and not been for that old cheat face hugger.
This kind of does give credence to this might have been the worst of the worst, like not the best Marines to pick. Theory, a little bit.
So anyway, we get a bit closer to this beep, finding out exactly what's going off. When we see something, another bit of a jump scare, you get the James Horner, like a gliss type thing, just to try and shit you up. So Drake starts firing. These guns look so good, though.
Yeah.
The flame effect is nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder how I think that they blow
gas
steam out of it, but
they used I think it was butane and hair lacquer.
Hair lacquer.
Yeah. Believe it or not, hair lacquer was used in the first movie. You know when the shuttle, when she hits the button and fries the Xenomorph?
Yeah.
That spray coming out the back is hair lacquer.
Yeah.
That's what they used to use. So Hicks calls Ripley up and, oh, look, it's a child.
Completely off topic, right? Do you remember when Michael Jackson's hair caught fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid fucker. Never mind. Let's go on.
Where were you going with that one?
I don't know. Hair lacquer catching
just
fire.
The hair lacquer.
I thought, with that a comment like that, you deserve to go on the bus to Yoka. Go on, Melv. Give me the DD line.
The DD?
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean.
From Limmy's show when he's on the bus to Yoka.
Oh no, I never watched that. I thought it was shit.
Oh, okay. Never mind. So anyway, Newt bites Hicks and makes a sharp exit into one of the air crawlways, venting ducts. Ripley goes after her, and I quickly discovered she hasn't got much of an arse, Sigourney Weaver, has she?
No.
She's a bit bony. So Newt tries to stop Ripley getting in this little bit of a hidey hole. It's like a nest for her, isn't it? She's got all those rations and stuff.
Yeah,
she's got a caravan waste master. What the bloody hell? Oh, she's probably got water in it.
They copied this kind of thing later on in one of the Jurassic Park films, didn't it? Was it Jurassic Park 3?
I don't know. I'm not really big on Jurassic
When
Park.
the little boy was lost in the island and he found himself a hole like this to hide in. And to get away from the
That's
dinosaurs.
number 3.
Oh, look, another Sony Trinitron back stuck to the wall. They
Maybe
used
one.
anything they could get their hands on, and I like that. Make practical use of what you've got.
Yeah, and something that looks like a defibrillator.
Newt tries escaping, but Ripley just doesn't want to let her go. She wants to mother this girl. There is a bit of a backstory to all this mother storyline, because in one of the scenes in the extended version, we discover that Ripley's daughter died a year before Ripley got back to Gateway. Her daughter was 66. Amanda McLaren Ripley, married name. But the picture of her daughter, age daughter, was actually a real picture of Sigourney Weaver's mum.
Mum, yeah.
Oh.
I thought it was Sigourney Weaver herself in the picture.
No, it's a mum.
No, it's a mum. The interesting thing is, though, there's no actual guarantee that her daughter was actually dead. Because it's coming out of the mouth of Burke. It allows him to then control, manipulate Ripley. Because if her daughter was alive, there was absolutely no way she would ever go to this planet.
Well, she survived Sevastopol, didn't she? So
yeah,
if she can survive that, I'm sure she's still alive. 66 is no age in the future, I don't think, to pass away.
Here's a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've asked this question before, and it didn't go down well. Is Ripley a terrible mother? Or was Ripley a terrible mother?
Yeah, because she put career above mothering.
You're the first person to agree with me.
Really?
Yep.
Well, she is in a way. She's abandoned her daughter in pursuit of shares.
Yeah, she abandoned her daughter for a job, and she was banging a boss.
Pretty much.
The cow.
So this...
Wait, what?
Go on, Melv. Explain it.
She was banging Dallas, wasn't she?
Yeah. She was shagging Arthur Dallas, yeah.
Cut from the film.
How do you know that? What was the giveaway?
It was cut from the film. They had a scene, didn't they?
Yeah.
They had a scene. It wasn't in the final one, but it was cut.
Mm-hmm.
So she was an actual modern woman, is what you're telling me?
Well, sex was actually actively encouraged aboard Weyland-Yutani vessels as a form of recreation.
Yeah, I agree. But she was still a cow.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't have boned Lambert.
I mean, the thing is, you never know. She could be separated from her other half, and the other half's looking after the child. She could be no different from a mother in the military.
It could be Dallas's.
Could be. But then they're both arseholes then.
A daughter was 11 before she shipped out to Thaddeus. And the trip to Thaddeus was 8 months unloaded. And it was 10 months fully laden back. So a daughter was 11 then. So even in Alien, a daughter's probably 12.
So,
wow.
Yeah, abandoned her at a crucial time in her life as well.
Just before her GCSEs. What a bastard.
Okay, no, so she really is a modern woman then. We really shouldn't be idolizing Ripley.
Well, the thing is, if you think about it, she's a feminine action hero. And you get all these people saying, oh, well, nobody goes to see these films with all these women where they're heroes and this is a new thing. No, it's not.
There's another way of looking at this. Well, I mean, it's how I was looking at it before, but the dynamic here with Newt and Ripley is Ripley trying to make up for being such a terrible mom. So, I mean, I really thought that was pretty kind of like self-explanatory. But
yeah, but it's emphasized in the extended cut, though.
Nobody agreed with me before, but when you look at this, the alien queen is actually a better mother than Ripley.
Yeah. Okie dokie. So this is where we get to find out who Newt really is. She's Rebecca Jordan. Lovely girl when she's not living like a hobo. So yeah, this she's filling a void of motherhood for Ripley, basically. And I love this scene. When they open these shutters, you could see the atmosphere processor. That's how big that model was. You could see it out of a fucking window and it looked authentic.
See, if I was a billionaire, I would have this facility in my backyard. And I would also have a life-size Millennium Falcon. Fuck it, why not?
Really?
Well, if I
I
was a
can't fault you.
billionaire. If I was a billionaire.
Hold on, how big? What is a life-size Millennium Falcon? What's the size of a life-size
big.
Millennium Falcon?
Big,
Is it the same size as the one they've got at that thing at Disney World?
I do not know.
What's it called? Galactic something another? I don't know. I'm not
Probably-
big on Star Wars anymore.
What size would it be? Bigger
Smart
than,
man.
a couple of tennis courts size.
Yeah. Be all right. You could build that in a weekend. Couple of 2x4s and some plywood. You'd be fine.
No, I'm a billionaire. I'm going to pay monkeys to do it.
Well, there you go. So Ripley gets some hot chocolate down this little girl because she's malnourished. And she, yet again, like Ripley, is suffering some level of PTSD. I mean, she saw her parents killed. If you follow the canon of the comic books, she witnessed her dad getting chest bursted. And then when the final push came from the Xenomorphs, a mother was killed in front of her. And somebody shot the Xenomorph that attacked her mother. And the acid from that creature ended up all over her brother Timmy. So he melted away in front of her.
Little Timmy dead and no lassie to help him.
But there's a little bit here just coming up because they're scanning for the residents because they've all got this thing called PDT, surgically implanted personal data transmitters. So basically, all these people are chipped so they know where they are at any one time. The reason Wayland Yutani did that was to monitor them if they were working enough during the shifts. And I love this line here because this is not relevant these days. Hudson says to Gorman, smoking or non-smoking. Like, you can't go on a plane and smoke anymore.
Good.
Like, you used to be able to. True. So anyway, Ripley's trying to coax Newt round into giving her some information. And she does all this dolly stuff. And then, where's your parents? They're dead. Can I go now? And that kind of shocks Ripley. And then we get a scene in Medlamp where Bishop is taking apart a facehugger. That just looks like a piece of liver. That still looks quite detailed.
Like a chicken, after you took the meat off it.
Oh dear. So Spunkmeyer drops him some bits of equipment off. He's doing a full autopsy on this thing. And he says, "Oh, nice pet you've got there, Bishop." And he just looks at him, gone out, and Spunkmeyer's like, "Hello, Bishop, woo." And Bishop's just more bothered about doing this autopsy because he thinks the facehugger's fantastic. So Hudson gets a bit of luck. He manages to locate where the rest of the colonists are. And they're over in one of the cooling towers of the atmosphere processor. Sub-level 3 under the main cooling towers. And Nick says, "Oh, looks like a goddamn town meeting." So Gorman says, "Let's saddle up, Apone." It's gonna get messy. I'm just looking in the chat right now. And Ash928 says, "People like good movies regardless of men or women in the roles." Yeah, if they're convincing characters. Yeah, MC's just mentioned about Newt seeing a dad with a facehugger on his face in the extended version. But we're doing the theatrical release. Anybody want to say anything?
Did you
Not
see
a
that
problem.
film, The Hunt, from 2020?
Remind me, Malv.
It's kind of like The Most Dangerous Game. It's rich people hunting people. But the main character is a woman, and she done a really good job. I thought the film was quite good. And it's got a 6.6 on IMDb. But talking about kind of strong female characters, I was told that film wasn't very good, and then I watched it anyway, and it just reminded me of Ripley.
Yeah, somebody told me one to avoid, so I watched it at the weekend and I quite enjoyed it. Novocaine starring Jack Quaid.
I've
And I
not
thought
watched that yet. I've heard mixed reviews.
Yeah, and it's got Amber Thunder thingy from Prey in it as well.
Amber Thunder Thighs.
Yeah.
Good name for a wrestler.
I thought it was good, to be fair. Tomby's just nipped off for a little while. He'll be back with us as soon as he can. So everybody's in the APC going over to the atmosphere processor, and I just love these kind of shots. And I know this is a matte painting, but just look at the scale of that bloody thing. There's a lot more of it underground. Do you know what I mean? There's like almost as much underground as what there is above ground.
There's some good mad paintings in this, like earlier on before they got on the planet. Some of the paintings of inside the hangar, they were fantastic.
Yeah.
You could hardly tell.
So this is inside that power station in London. I'm not sure if it was Battersea, but I know for a fact it turned out there was a lot of dangerous shit in there. A lot of like health stuff that could really compromise your health long term. And this place was knocked down about a year later. I can't remember. It's something power station. I just can't remember what the something is.
Probably all full of asbestos and things like that.
Yeah, apparently so. So this squad's been deployed, and they go down into the depths of the atmosphere processor. We're looking for sub-level 3. And there's a bit of distortion because of the superstructure. But there we see primary heat exchanger. That's an important part. That is not a MacGuffin per se, but it's a plot device. It comes into play a little bit later on.
Apparently the power station is called Acton Lane Power Station.
That's the one. Yeah, because everybody thinks of Battersea, don't they, straight off the top of the head usually. And I did, so I'm guilty of that. But thank you for that, Melv. So we get
help desk got it before me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't notice you in the chat. Nice of you to join us, help desk. Thank you. Yes, it was in another movie we talked about. I can't remember which one it was. It's been in quite a few.
Than me. He's the fastest Googler in the West.
So if you look carefully here, this Colonial Marine that you can just see in the foreground, that's the back of James Remar's head. As we look into the hive, a lot of these scenes had been filmed before Michael Biehn ended up being brought in to play Hicks. James Remar and his drugs.
His tweets, he should have been careful with his tweets. He shouldn't have brung pronouns into it.
Yeah.
He should have known.
Nobody likes his way of thinking, so they sent the thought police around. So even Ripley's baffled. She doesn't know what this is. Although there is a deleted scene from Alien, the cocoon scene, which would have explained this a lot better and tied into it. But obviously James Cameron didn't know about it at the time.
Yeah, because in Alien, she was never on the derelict ship. She didn't see the inside of it.
Well, she saw the cocoon part in the Nostromo. So I'm just saying she would have perhaps, put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, it just depends on whether...
MC said Batman. I'm starting to think... Yes, it was. We did Batman for, about 3-4 weeks ago. Were you on that stream, Melv?
I don't remember. Like I say, I can't remember yesterday. Batman. I don't think I was.
Yeah, man, it's the dry heat. Knock it off, Hudson. So we see all these PDTs up on the screen, and people are here, there, and everywhere. And then Ripley says, "What do those pulse rifles fire?" And Gorman says, "Explosive 10mm caseless ammunition. Standard light armor-piercing rounds. Why?" And look where your team are, under the primary heat exchanger. And Gorman's like, "So?" And then Bert's like, "Oh. Basically, this whole place is just a big nuclear reactor. You could rupture the cooling system, and then it's adios muchachos." So then he tells A-Bone that he's got to collect all the the bullets and everything that makes things go off the soldiers.
Yeah, this was the part that bothered me most, and I think we probably need Tomby here, because I spoke to military people. One of my nephews was a Marine, like a US Marine, and I got my brother-in-law was in the Air Force, and a couple of uncles in the Navy and things like that. So I've asked military people, and the thing that they do here when they take the bullets off them and then still go in that wouldn't have happened. Nobody would have done that. The sergeant would have stopped them doing it.
Definitely.
The sergeant would have took everybody back to make a new plan or something. But
yeah, you don't leave
they know
people
for
with
sure.
you don't leave people unable to defend themselves or
Yeah.
act upon action.
Yeah. At this stage in the film, they know for sure that the aliens Ripley spoke about are real, right? So each of the people who were there could potentially be an alien. So there could be like 100 or 130 aliens or something there, right? And they're sending them in there with no weapons, knowing that they're there.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, it just wouldn't have happened. It was ridiculous. But so you can say Gorman was incompetent and might have gave the order, but a real sergeant would have said, no, we're going out.
Yeah,
Or
definitely.
they would have let them keep their bullets, one or the other.
This is interesting here. The power unit for those smart guns, it's got a headphone jack at each end. I like that. So anyway, Vasquez is a bit of a sneaky little bugger because she's got a couple down her tits. 'Tis true. So she gives one to Drake, and they're reloaded. So yet again, they plug these things in with headphone jacks, which is just a power unit to power the smart gun. And Frost gets the duty of looking after all the ammo. Oh, look, there he is. Where's Bowski? There he is. Where's Bowski? Thank you, MC.
Can't touch this.
And then Nick says, I like to keep this close for close encounters. So they go further into the hive, and it starts getting a bit more disturbing. It's like, what the fudge? So they all start looking in pure disbelief because there's people fused into the walls. So Ripley sends Newt somewhere else so she doesn't see what's going off. She's already got PTSD, bless her. And we just see body upon body upon body, just glued to the walls. Ix is getting a bit curious. Empty overmorphs, as they're called in canon now.
That looks like a mushroom tip. Hold on
A
the screen right
it?
now.
So,
very, very sexual franchise.
Well, Giga, all his stuff was sexually based.
I know. I'm just being cheeky.
We like it. We like you doing that, Vex. That's why you're here. Because you're a dirty minx. You're like our version of Smilex. You're wetter than an otter's pocket.
Oh wow. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
is that,
Okay. Well,
is
yeah,
that a
I'll
compliment
take that.
or an insult? I don't know.
It's not. Well, it's a compliment. So Hicks picks up some remnants of facehuggers, and he's like, "What the fuck?" Ash928 says, "I always thought he said, 'Where's Bowski?'" Yeah, it's a meme. It became a meme eventually. So we go further into the hive, which is under the main primary heat exchanger, which is why they can't fire.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of foreshadowing happening soon. So,
God, these movies really did become formulaic after
didn't they just?
Alien and Aliens. Holy crap. Like, I swear we've seen this exact same scene, like the Temu version of the scene, about 4 different times in the
sequels. They do get copy and paste. And they are formulaic, but they're trying to recreate. Lightning only strikes once, and it's very rare in Hollywood it strikes twice. And it did in this franchise. Yeah. Everything else after it was just crap. And they kept banging them out.
Just fundamentally misunderstanding why this was lightning like what made this lightning in a bottle. Or the first one.
You know, it's like I said, it's like McDonald's. Film industry has become very fast food, and it just bangs stuff out left, right, and center. It's quantity over quality these days, my dear.
There was a lot of hype around this film as well. Everybody was screaming about it at the time.
It's well deserved, though, in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is before
huge.
Before YouTubers were a thing, so every film had like a better chance of having success before everybody in the internet chat on it. So even bad ones got through, but good films really did well back then. It was just a different time.
I seem to remember Barry Norman slating it a little bit.
Barry Norman didn't like Big Trouble in Little China either.
No, he didn't. He seemed to slate the stuff what became cult classics.
He liked films as long as they were in black and white and the people spoke.
Yeah, he was all for film noir, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So anyway, Dietrich goes nosy in, sees a body in the wall. Looks kind of fresh. The eyes open up. Oh, look, she's got facehugger jizz or something all over her face. Poor lass.
Out of date mayonnaise.
She looks a bit emaciated too. She's all grey and looks ill. And then she's begging to be killed.
Yeah. So this is a copy of the Tom Skerritt deleted scene from Alien.
It is, isn't it? Because he when the cocoon scene, he begs Ripley to kill him.
But it was the exact same thing. Kill me.
Yeah, but he was being turned into a facehugger. He was being turned into an overmorph. That was the process in the first film.
They had him, I don't know, hard to tell because they had him stuck right on the wall, didn't they, with all that stuff?
Well, if you notice Brett, he was like 70% of the way to being a facehugger. You know, so
it was hard to even make out Brett in that bit because he was mostly gone, wasn't he?
Because he was being turned into an overmorph.
I thought he was just fused into the wall, and that was part of the wall.
No, that was the planet. The creature could self-replicate by making victims, eat a bit, could turn a bit into a bit of a hive, and then convert the rest into a future brood. Because the life cycle was very ambiguous.
Except they seemed to grow very fast, and faster as the films went on.
And then they tried to explain it away as black goo, which was piss poor in my opinion. So we see this on the camera, on the screen in the APC. And Ripley's starting to get a bit of a PTSD flashback. Well, anyway, Dietrich's like going, convulsion. But it's not. It's a chest burster. And she's just reliving that awful dream she keeps having every night where she gets chest bursted.
I think Ripley's been an awful girl about this thing, isn't she? I mean, it's okay if your crew got killed and there was an alien ate some of them. Well, what are you worried about? Get over it. It was years ago.
So we get to see a chest burster. There's always one in every movie. Sometimes more than one. And this one's a nasty little bastard. Oh, and she's getting the old PTSD. I think you need some red switches in that keyboard, Vex.
Sorry, just...
It's all right.
Sorry, bear with me. Let me mute myself, sorry.
She's typing dirty messages to people. So here we go. Little facehugger. Chest burster comes out. That poor woman. And it promptly gets incinerated. Squeals its little head off. And then all of a sudden you hear all these noises coming from everywhere. And they basically woken the hive up. Motion trackers are going absolutely crazy. Apones, talk to me, Hudson. Multiple signals in front and behind. So they can't actually see anything, so they switch to infrared. And that makes no difference, because apparently these creatures don't emit any heat. Yes, Help Desk says Vex needs some Cherry MX switches. Yes, preferably the red ones, because they're the silent ones, not the brown tactiles. Are you all right?
I heard that, that's all.
I'll get over it. Anyway, in mission control...
What's a Cherry MX switch? Somebody enlighten me.
It's just a really high-quality switch for a keyboard.
All right, okay. Well,
and you can get different varieties. You've got brown, blue, red, just different...
Thought, with the name of Cherry MX, with the name Cherry in it, I thought there was a gag in there somewhere.
No, there's nothing rude there, Malv. You've got a mucky mind too.
Hey, I'm the victim here.
Yeah. Help Desk says there were only 6 alien suits due to the budget. They've been used so well. They had. And there were some good stunt performers in these things too.
Sorry, did they reuse those alien suits for the sequel at all? Gotcha.
So anyway, infrared's no good. Hicks says there's nothing back here. And look at that strange shape on the wall behind Dietrich.
It's a little bit knob looking, isn't it?
Very phallic. And then the wall comes to life, and it's our Xeno. It's a Xeno. Grabs hold of Dietrich. She pulls the trigger on her flamethrower. I've gone a bit common there. And unfortunately, Frost, him and his bag of ammunition get ignited. Frost goes head over heels over a railing. He's dead. Dietrich's getting spun round like a record player. Oh, just let me go back one. Just look at the face of that victim there. I mean, I know these are only props, but that just looks so good.
Looks like they died in the middle of singing a song.
In fact, it kind of looks like Marilyn Manson.
Oh, I can see that a little bit, yeah.
So Dietrich's getting spun round. The ammunition's on fire. Oh, where's Bowski? There he is. Sorry, and that joke never gets old for me because I'm a sad twat. Crow is just stood there with his thumb up his arse. And then the ammo goes kablooey. Crow goes flying through the air with the greatest of ease.
Hold on. Can you go back?
That one?
Go back one more? Did you put a white fucking
No, that's an
sliding-
actual screenshot of the explosion. I shit you not. I was very thorough. Oh, bang.
That could be the
fucking hell,
the Wampa scene in Empire Strikes Back as well.
You never know.
Maybe
Yeah, but it's not white. It's off yellow. You can tell it's a flame.
It's a white.
It's not. Oh, I could do this all day.
We can't watch.
Crikey. I don't know what you've had, but can I have some, please? So anyway, poor old Crow. He's dead. He dead. Dietrich's getting spun around like a record player. Frost, he's dead too. Oh dear. It's all going pear-shaped. Apone's losing control of the situation. Yeah, Crow, he's gone. Sorry, Crow. He dead. Where's Bowski's getting spun round? But this is where the joke comes from, this scene. He says, where's Bowski? And they're like, people think he's saying, where's Bowski? It's all right. So Vasquez shouts, let's rock! So her and Drake are the only two people who are live fire capable. Gorman's like losing his shit. Who's firing in there, goddammit? Who's firing? These people are trying to fucking survive. They're in a do or die situation.
They're not being very tactical about it, though. Again, this just lends more credence to these were not very good Marines in the first place.
They were the shit core.
Yeah, this is
this
shit core.
this particular platoon.
It's hard to tell if this unit is actually that incompetent, or it just had to be written that way for the events to unfold as they needed to for the film to happen.
Well,
you could argue that
it was a combination of factors. That particular squad were not well liked amongst the military of the U.S. Colonial Marine Corps. Plus, a mixture of a green lieutenant who's got no combat experience. He's got no skills. He doesn't know how to cope in these situations. So they chuck them all in a situation with a high probability of failure on purpose to try and secure specimens. That was the whole reasoning. That's why Burke is so involved in this project, because he pulled a few strings to get this particular squad and to get this particular lieutenant. So they're like the misfits. Nobody's going to miss them. It sucks to be them, to be fair. You know?
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking, like, there's many other like, even if you want the events to play out in a certain way or establish certain kind of tension, there's other ways you could do it, because irregardless of how these Marines act, James Cameron is pretty smart with how all of his other plot elements kind of come together. So that's why this seems a little bit intentionally stupid, and it works if you...
Yeah, just look at the mess what Strange Days is. He wrote the screenplay to that. Yeah, well, it works well in the end. I mean, Gorman looks a total fucking dope, to be fair. So he's trying to tell everybody to fall back in squads to the APC. Obviously, with all the firing going off and whatnot, and the situation and the adrenaline, Apone's not hearing him very well. But it's bad news for Apone, because look up. It's not your lucky day, mate. He's gone too. Apone. Ah. So he's lost his only means of controlling these soldiers, and that was Apone. He's gone now. So Ripley's saying, get him out of there, you know. Anybody left, get him out. And then Gorman's like going, fucking stop interfering. And this is a good line here, because Hudson goes up to Hicks and he goes, "Where's the Sarge? The Sarge is gone. Let's get the fuck out of here." So, yeah, Gorman's lost the thread. He's just like, "Oh, what do I do?" He's got his thumb up his arse. But Ripley's a person of action. She locks Newt into one of these chairs. She gets at the controls of the APC. I mean, she's a smart lass. She can get in anything. She can get in a power loader. She can drive it. She can, drive these big, massive star freighters. She can get in anything. She can make a sewing machine to a 747 rock.
She's MacGyver.
She is. She's a Jackie of all trades.
Well, I mean, she's very overqualified, isn't she?
Oh, yeah. She's smart as shit.
I mean, she was second in command on the Nostromo, right?
Yeah. So, I hate to say women are bad drivers, but Ripley, she's all over the place.
No, why would you hate to say something that is true?
Yeah,
Probably half Asian as well, probably.
Ooh, profiling. So they're all trying to get out the hive. Ripley's trying to hold a turd in as she crashes through the wall into the hive. But look at this. I mean, you've got people in suits hanging from the ceiling doing this shit. Are you all right, Vex? You're easily amused tonight, my dear.
Ripley's trying to hold a turd in her. You were just so subtle in sneaking that in there.
Oh, I didn't realize it. I just said it. It's one of them things.
It was like it actually
Yeah, but
happened.
she look like she needed a shit.
Yeah. Hey, Vex, why don't you cheer up?
Why don't I what?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Yeah, Scottish humour.
You were laughing hysterically.
Yeah.
I ate some chocolate during this stream.
Cheer up, you miserable bitch.
Probably didn't help.
Oh, we are terrible. So anyway, aliens are getting blown to smithereens, which is good. They're trying to fall back to the APC. But bad news if you're Drake, because she shouts, "Come on, Drake!" And then, what?
Hold on. Isn't this a bit of a continuity error? If they're exploding aliens everywhere, shouldn't there be acid blood holes everywhere?
Well, not necessarily, because these aliens are sort of like at a distance. But the thing is, this one isn't. It's outside of the APC.
Yeah.
So she shouted to Drake, and this one spun round. She starts firing, shoots the shit out of it, and there we go.
It's a great another white screenshot.
There we go.
The strength of the acid changes depending on what the scene needs with these films.
Yeah, true. It's a MacGuffin.
Okay.
Inconsistent all the way through.
So we get.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I just because that was a big deal with Romulus, right? And here,
we've got a good splatter pattern here. There's a good splatter pattern. Unfortunately, it lands on this guy, and he looks like Rocky Dennis. He's a stunner.
Rocky Dennis?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
From Mask.
All right. Liam Neeson.
No.
No, hold on. What am I talking about?
Sure. And Eric Stoltz.
I was thinking Darkman.
Yeah. Yeah. Take it. No, take it. No, take that fucking elephant. I love that. That's the best line of that film. Take the fucking elephant. Ooh, Sam Raimi's a genius. So Mark Rolston's looking really dapper, but he's got a bogey hanging out of his nostril. Not a good look. So anyway,
least of his worries right now with his foreskin
pretty
being
much.
melted off. So
It's probably an extra clip he's keeping up there.
He could always have a trip to Turkey. That'll put him right. So Vasquez is really upset at Drake getting killed, but she killed him. It was her fault. She is directly responsible for the death of Drake. Unfortunately, he squirrels the trigger on his flamethrower, and he's partially set fire to the APC. So everybody gets to work, and and Hicks says, "Forget him, he's gone." So Ripley's trying to get out of the hive, and then this cheeky little bastard grabs hold of the doors. Get hold of the goddamn doors! I don't know why I do it in that accent. It's so weird. So anyway, we're getting a nice tooth shot here. And Hicks says, "Here, eat this." Bang. Not a problem. And we've got some more splatter. In fact, look, it's all over somebody's hand there, but you don't hear them complaining. Hudson gets a bit on his arm and is screaming like a big girl. So the APC can finally get out of the hive. Ripley's driving. Oh dear, we're getting chucked around a lot, and there's boxes hanging from the ceiling. Bonk, straight on Gorman's head. He's out for the count. So Ripley puts her foot down. Halfway through the journey to getting back out of the atmosphere processor, Xenomorph smashes through the window. Oh, tries to get Ripley. Slams on the anchors. She knocks it flying. This is almost like a comedic bit. It's kind of funny in a way. So this Xenomorph gets knocked onto the ground, and then it's promptly run over. So Ripley comes flying out here, and who said it? Something about the transaxle. Oh yeah, a couple of people have said in the chat about the transaxle. Don't blow the transaxle. That was MC and Gavin Blackburn in the chat. But Ripley goes over this hump and blows the transaxle. So she brings the vehicle to a stop, checks on Newt, make sure she's okay. Get a thumbs up. Gorman's out for the count. Vasquez is going to twat him one, but he's out. Hudson notices there's some life signs, Dietrich and Apone, if I remember right. So Vasquez wants to roll some nerve gas into the nest, but it's an alien species. We don't know if it's going to work or not. So while this is all going off, here's one of the iconic lines of this film. Ripley says, "I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure." And they're like, fucking hey. And then Burke's like, "This facility has a certain dollar value attached to it." He's more bothered about the bill at the end. So they dump the APC, carry Gorman, tell Ferro and Spunkmeyer to get rolling because they need evac. And there's a bit of slime in the hangar bay inside the dropship. Can't be a good thing.
You would have thought they would have closed the door while they were waiting, just in case.
Yeah. So this is that scene I mentioned earlier where Daniel Cash, you could tell it's him in The Expanse. He kind of looks like how he looks in The Expanse in this particular scene. So ramps up, dropship takes off, Ferro launches away and heads towards where our survivors are. Door opens up and she goes, "Well, where the fuck?" And then before she can say anything else, you've got this stunning bastard looking down on you. So she tries to reach for a sidearm, but it's no good. She's dead. So obviously the dropship's going to end up a bit worse for wear, and it does. The only downside is it heads into the atmosphere processor. So that's another nail in the coffin of this great device. You know, some great scenes in this movie. Just the look on Burke's face there. He knows it's bad news. You know, he probably knows how bad these things are put together. So, yeah, game over, man. Game over. Are you finished? I guess we're not going home now. And then we better get back. They come out at night, mostly. Yet another meme there. Helpdesk says, "Isn't Burke's deleted scene around here? He's stuck on the wall whispering." No, that's later on. That's during the rescue scene. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. If you remind me, Helpdesk, that'd be a grand thing.
In the third act.
It is, indeed.
A similar kind of deal to at the end of Alien, where she finds Dallas, except in this one she found Buck.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this scene. Back projection onto a model, a static model. And if you've obviously seen Romulus, yeah?
Yeah.
They kind of tried to recreate this aesthetic for Jackson's Star Base, you know, the colony.
Mm-hmm.
If you look down one side, and it was kind of built this way.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, yeah.
Yeah. So they take stock of what they've got left. Not a great deal. Tells Newt not to play around with a grenade. He starts losing his shit a bit. And she says, how long before we're declared overdue can we expect a rescue? It says 17 days. And he's like, 17 days, if not less 17 hours with those things running around. So Hudson's like, why don't you put her in charge? He starts losing his shit. So Ripley brings
The
him back
first
down
thing
to Earth.
you would think would be like, okay, so they blew up the antenna or whatever. Do they have a spare? You would think they would have more than one. And do they have an escape shuttle? That would be the first question you would ask, right? Do they have an escape shuttle here? Do they have any kind of ship?
Yeah.
You would expect the answer to be yes.
There is some redundancy built into the system, but we'll find out about that later. So she tells him to calm himself down. Everybody's looking really unimpressed with him, and Bishop's like, oh, I'll be a med lab if anybody wants me. Yeah, you do that. You sling your up, mate. We get a nice beauty shot of the atmosphere processor. So on the blueprints and plans, Ripley says, this is the tunnel. This is how they're getting from there to here. Because there's a direct access tunnel. So Newt's trying to get her a look in. So they look at these floor plans. They start making another plan to secure themselves in. So it's a case of, well, if we seal this bit and block that bit up there, they're not going to get in. Burke's not looking too impressed. He doesn't give a shit, really. And Newt's seen all this before, so she knows it's probably not going to work. So it's just basically a plan. He's saying, outstanding, all we need now is a deck of cards. So hang on a minute, you're in a life or death situation, Higgs. Stop chatting up Sigourney Weaver. She's married. So they close this tunnel. That's locked. They start prepping and blocking things in. And then Hicks gives Ripley this tracker watch, which is really cool. And it comes with a little doobry that tells you where people are and how far away they are. And he says, oh, it's not like we're engaged or anything. He's chatting her up again. So Newt's a little bit bollocks, so Ripley's going to put her to bed. She doesn't want to go to sleep. And she's a little bit scared, obviously. And she tries to reassure him and tells us she'll be watching her on a monitor somewhere. So, yet again, she's trying to make up for being a shit mother, Malv, isn't she?
She is indeed, but it's too late because her daughter's dead already. The evil, evil witch.
You missed the boat, Ripley. So they have a bit of a discussion trying to figure out where all these things are coming from. And they more or less say, well, there's got to be something laying these eggs. So he's like, well, what's laying these eggs? Obviously something we've not seen before. No shit. So she says she wants all these specimens destroyed when it's done. But he says, like, Mr. Burke was very insistent that to be kept alive in stasis for return to the company labs. So she confronts Burke.
It was a strange leap of faith to say there must be something laying the eggs because she found, well, her crew found the eggs on the derelict spaceship 50 years before. It wasn't necessarily something they're laying them. They could have got there on the ship itself.
Well, yeah, there is that. There is a possibility. Hello to Gord King in the chat. Thank you for joining us tonight. So Burke's defending himself. He says, look, those two specimens are worth millions to the bioweapons division. And then it turns out that Ripley checked the company, the station log, and on 6/12/79, Burke instructed the Jordans to go out to the coordinates from the Nostromo. So he caused the downfall of Hadley's Hope by sending people to the coordinates where the Nostromo landed. So Burke caused everybody's deaths. And she's going to make everybody know that he was responsible for everything what happened at Hadley's Hope. And he's like, oh, I expected more from you, Ripley. And she's like, I'm glad to let you down. And this scene's a good one. What are we looking for here? Oh, emergency venting, which lets them know that they've got 4 hours before the atmosphere processor blows up. Hudson loses his shit again. We're fucked. We're doomed. Some good lines in here. And they're having a bit of a toss-up and shouting at each other. And, they say there's another dropship on the Sulaco. Somebody's going to have to, find a terminal and remote pilot the ship down. Well, it turns out that Bishop's the only one qualified to remote pilot the ship. And I like this scene because every time Bishop is having any dialogue or interchange with anybody, his eyes look very reflective. It's like they've shot him in a certain way, almost Blade Runner-like, in a way that makes him look synthetic compared to everybody else.
Trying to get the Roy Batty look.
Yeah, but he's also very childlike and innocent.
He's got a kind of, I don't know, almost, it's like either a neutral expression or a smile that comes across kind of neutral as well. Like you're not smiling at anything, it's just there, like medicated.
It's like perplexed and bemused at the same time. It's good if you can pull it off.
There was something else I found strange.
Go on.
That they had to get somebody to remote pilot down a ship. It's like they left that huge spaceship up there with not a single human being on it. And
Yeah, well, it's fully
strange
automated.
well.
Can you just hold the fort just for 1 second? I've just got to send a text. Just 1 second.
Okay.
It's a naughty text. All the spider vaginas got him going.
Well, how could it not?
Yeah, look at this. We're looking at a tunnel. This could be, a metaphor or an allegory for a.
This always
vagina.
reminded me of the James Bond films at the start.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we could go with that as well.
It was like
dirty mind, dirty times. There you go.
Okay, okay. It could not be a vagina. That's always a possibility. If that is your wish.
Sorry. So what is? Sorry, just I didn't get to finish watching this part of the movie.
This part here is where Bishop, the android, goes in this tunnel and he's trying to get out to remote fly the second dropship down to rescue.
Gotcha.
So,
anyway, back with you now, guys. Hope you kept it clean, Vex.
Oh, my phone is vibrating now.
It's not me. It wasn't a naughty text.
Okay, chat. Put your vaginas away. We're off that topic now.
Oh, stop being dirty and disgusting, you pair. So anyway, they crack this pipe open, and this is really claustrophobic. But hey, I guess that's the intention of the scene. So Bishop gets in this pipe, and he's more concerned about not trapping the fingers. And he's like chugging along inside this pipe. They seal him in.
Be in there.
That would just freak me the fuck out. I'm claustrophobic as hell. And then we get the speech about we can't afford to let one of those bastards in here. So he tells those two to keep frosty and stay on guard, which gives Hicks another opportunity to try and tickle Ripley's fancy. She says she doesn't want to end up like the others. So he says, let me introduce you to a close personal friend of mine, the M41A pulse rifle, with under and over 10mm explosive tip caseless and pump-action grenade launcher. Feel the weight. She's a bit reluctant at first. She gets a hold of Hicks's shooter, and she's quite impressed with the girth in her hands. She has a good feel of it. Meanwhile, Robot Man is in his tube.
Yeah, and
he's
Romulus,
he's like a hamster in a gay man's bum.
Is that Richard Gere rumor?
Yes. And this is quite interesting. 42. The life, meaning of life. And that comes up quite a few times. Later on, there's a scene where she puts a fresh mag into the gun and it reads 95 rounds, but on the next scene it reads 42. So I think this was just a random number. They thought, oh, we'll do the thing from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and leave that as the number on the counter. But it's nice to see. You can see that Tommy gun. That stands out well. Whoever came up with this as a concept for a gun, well played.
Agreed. Halo takes a lot of inspiration from these guns for their design too, and it works beautifully there.
The guns they had in Romulus, which is set a few decades before this, are better than these, which was a bit strange because the ones in Romulus could aim themselves.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't that taken straight from the Colonial Marines game though, in which you could auto aim one version of the gun?
That was the remote sentries.
Oh no,
That's
no.
it. That was an actual gun.
Maybe the remote sentries are a different thing. I don't know because I never played
Which
the Colonial
game?
Marines game. Colonial Marines.
Oh, the NAF one. Yeah. Are we talking the NAF one, Melv?
Well, yeah, that's the one we were talking about before, with all the bugs on it.
Yeah, with all the bugs. Anyway, she's got quite used to Hicks's shooter. So she goes to MedLab, bumps into Gorman. And he's just fucking gormless. He's useless. But look at Berg. He's a bitch. He's going to get Ripley. And Vasquez, she ain't impressed with Gorman, not one bit. So Ripley goes to check in on Newt, who's disappeared. Where's she gone? Oh, she's under the bed.
Like a newt.
Yeah, she's under the bed with the heater. She's been that used to being a hobo with a shotgun. She's kind of living the lifestyle.
Kids are really adaptable. There you go, especially at that age.
And don't forget, guys, Hobo with a Shotgun was shot in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Yeah,
really? No, I didn't know that.
And the end, I like how they've used Lisa Lougheed's Run With Us from the Raccoons at the end of that film. Have you seen that movie? Hobo with a Shotgun, Rutger Hauer?
I've heard of it. I haven't
you've got to
seen
watch it.
it.
It's Canadian gold.
Labeling something Canadian as gold is very suspicious.
It's not.
Already, I'm turned off.
It's like,
let's be honest. What true Canadian gold is there really?
There's plenty out there. It's where you find it. Anyway, James Cameron seems to have some obsession with blue lightning because he uses it in The Terminator.
And Avatar is all blue.
Well, this is because this thing's going to blow up. This is all to do with like static and capacitance and electricity being discharged. It's trying to ground itself because there's too much energy in the reactor. So it's trying to discharge itself, but they kind of made it a thing across the franchise, but in the wrong way. They didn't take it for what it was.
Okay.
They tried to just use it as a little bit of a
An Easter egg or a callback of some sort.
So,
Gotcha.
At the Colony Uplink Tower, Bishop's plumbed in, realigned the dish, and he's communicating directly with the Sulaco, and he's sending commands, and he orders the ship to send and prep the other dropship, ready to go and retrieve them and evacuate them from LV-426. This is a great... Oh, look at that. Just go back one. Look at that. Right? I could tell you some of the parts there. They're speaker connectors, those red and black things. Yeah? And that joystick thing is a Radio Shack mic. Just the shit they make stuff out of.
Easier than making it on their own, I suppose. Just walked into an electronics shop and buy everything you see. Anything that's got a switch on it.
Yeah, so Ripley kind of wakes herself up from a little sleep under the bed. Notices there's a couple of stasis pods opened. And there's nothing in there. So she says, wake up, we're in a shit ton of trouble. Ripley fingers her way out of bed. Has a good look around. Oh, look, face hook of time. And this kid, all she does really is scream a lot in this movie. So Ripley manages to wedge this little bastard against the wall, tips the bed up, and they try and make a sharp exit. Some rotten bastards lock the doors, and that thing goes scuttling off. There's an Easter egg coming up soon in this scene. I wonder if anybody can pick it out. Anyway, hello to
Is it
Emperor
a white?
Jay Goodwin.
Is it a white screen again?
No,
Sorry.
not quite. Hello to Jay Goodwin in the chat.
Can we make that a Trev retro?
You never
Easter
know.
egg?
So they start banging on the windows, but these things are like 6-inch thick, bulletproof, and well, they're not bulletproof, but they're soundproof. She tries hitting a chair. That does nothing. And there's the pulse rifle, Ripley's pulse rifle, left outside inconveniently. She looks at it and thinks, shit, we're buggered. So she starts waving at the camera. Oh, look, somebody's watching Chuckle Vision. It's Berg. Shh, Z3PO, shh, giving the game away. So anyway, CCTV camera's been turned off, which is a rare thing in England, to say, that's where this film was shot, but we're the land of CCTV. She tries banging on the window.
Really? It doesn't seem to be catching all of those Muslim gangs, though.
Can't say the thing that's true. So she sparks a cigarette lighter up and tries to trip the smoke detection system, and it kicks in.
Yep.
And there's an Easter egg. There's 2 of them there. If anybody wants to have a guess.
Okay, 2 Easter eggs here. Okay, is that a Dalek machine on the table
No.
there? Oh, okay.
There's 2 Transformers in this image. You know the toys, robots in disguise?
Oh! Hold on. Is one of them on the
Nope.
table?
See.
Okay, 2
They're up in the air.
Transformers.
Jay Goodwin
is-
says, I've got to kick you for speaking the truth, Vex. We'll have none of this here. This is a family channel for family people.
I
Okay.
can't see them.
I don't see the
Right.
Transformers.
Can you see those like pointy things pointing down from the ceiling on those arms?
Like the arms?
They're
Yeah.
Shockwave Transformers. a
Can
Decepticon.
you put your cursor
Oh.
over them?
I can't. I don't know how to do that. How do I do that, Melv? Any ideas?
I don't know. I would think you can click on things on your side that we can't. So I don't know. Maybe you can.
Hold on. You meant electricity
No, the
Transformers,
robot
not like
in
Transformers
disguise,
robots?
the toy one.
Yeah. Those don't look like Transformers
Yeah,
robots.
Shockwaves. There's 2 Shockwave figures.
Okay, maybe I need to Google what a shockwave figure is.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Decepticon.
Shockwave
Try that.
Images. Oh, okay. So the arm?
Can you see it now? It's got 1 hand and then a laser hand.
Ah. Yeah, I see it. I see it now. Oh,
Mm.
that's clever.
And
I
that,
like
that
that.
is one of the rarest figures. Not actually. Oh dear, people are saying things in the chat. But Z3PO was on it. He said it's the Transformers in the med bay. Destron Solar's leaving us. Thank you for joining us tonight, matey. Thank you. So anyway, he says we've got a fire in med lab. And she says, hold on, Newt, they're coming. But oh no! Look, something's jumped from the ceiling. It's a face hugger. You think Sigourney Weaver's just stepped out of a salon? No, she's just stepped out of a face hugger. So she throws the little bastard at the wall, comes bouncing back. It's just coming and coming. You can't stop them. They're relentless. Oh dear. Bit like when somebody owes you money. So she's trying desperately to get away from this thing, and it jumps at her, tries to attack. Newt, all she does is squeal at everything in this film. Somebody dropped a quarter on the floor, she'd be screaming. So there's a facehugger coming up behind her, but she's a little bit feisty. Traps its tail between the wall and that tabletop. Hicks says shoot the glass out, so Hudson does. Jumps through. She shouts to Hudson. He comes in and polishes that thing off. So it takes 3 people to get a facehugger off somebody. That's how strong they are. So they manage to pull it off. Oh, yeah, we'll throw it over there. Sigourney Weaver's got some bloody fillings. Look at all them. I bet they're gold.
Canadian
Probably
gold?
not. So they manage to get that thing off and they chuck it against the wall. Vasquez shoots it. Oh, look, I did a white light for you there. Look. Oh, look, another red light. And then she says, Burke. It was Burke. Because he's a treacherous little shit. He really does deserve some kind of retribution, don't you think? So they get him. I love how Hudson says, we ought to grease this rat fuck son of a bitch. And he's like trying to make out that they're all paranoid. Ripley comes out with his plan about getting them 2 impregnated with embryos. And then Burke jettisons the rest of their bodies into space. And he can make up any story he wants. Just look at the face on Vasquez. She wants to kill him.
Can I ask an
You
honest
can.
question? And like, I don't mean to trigger anyone.
I might not
when
have a
ask
suitable
this,
answer
honest.
for you.
okay?
How honest?
Oh, okay. I mean, okay, listen, okay. How is it that this movie has not been canceled for blackface. Or in this case,
Yeah,
Mexican
face.
Because
that's a Jewish woman who's been darkened to be
Yeah,
a
but
Mexican.
then
why.
they can call it anti-Semitism then.
Because being Mexican probably isn't
But
one
hold
of the
on.
protected characteristics that they keep on telling us about.
Okay, but hold on. Like Sarah Silverman, who is a notorious Jew, did blackface and they tried to cancel her.
I don't know. Different era, I suppose.
But we literally are canceling blackface from 80s and 90s media.
What about what's his face? Trudeau.
Oh yeah, he
Didn't
got
cancel
away
him.
with it.
Right, we didn't cancel him.
Anyway, good line. A good line here, and you'll
just throwing it out
appreciate this
there.
one, Vex. Ripley says, I don't know which species is worse, Burke. You don't see them fucking each other over for a goddamn percentage. And Hicks is like, no offence, but we waste him. And no, that's not a black screen. That is actual screenshot from the film.
This is where they should have had that conversation when it says you don't see them fucking each other over for a percentage. Somebody should have said, "Oh, we the baddies."
Jay Goodwin says, but
It's
Sarah
funny in
Silverman
my head.
isn't funny or any good in any movies. True.
Yes, very true.
True. She's got nice tits, though. I'll give her that.
She was all right in Star Trek, briefly.
Oh, no. I mean, like, just if you just cover up everything else about her except the tits are nice. But the second you show maybe some clavicle, a little bit of neck, even like some fingers, it's a hard no.
Okie dokie, moving swiftly on. Family friendly. They cut the power.
Oh, sorry.
How can they cut the power, man? They're animals. And she says, oh, we want you out in the hallway with trackers. Newt, you stay close to me. Hudson and Vasquez go out into the corridor. Hudson starts picking a signal up. Can't quite explain it. So they get back into operations. These two have got these little welder things. They're really cool. So they weld the door shut.
Talking about these a couple of days ago, how great them things are. Just a little handheld thing, you know, about, smaller than a bottle of Coke.
You don't have to clamp a ground onto anything, and you just go for it. And
it's got amazing power. It can cut through steel like 3-inch thick.
Mm.
You see, when they opened the door and the shuttle at the start, it was a similar kind of thing they were using, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was more like a plasma cutter, though, wasn't it? Like that.
But then the lamp they had on their shoulder needed a battery the size of a loaf of bread.
It was oh goodness gracious, not a PP3. Can you remember the PP9, the really big one?
Yeah,
it was like one of those batteries. They were quite heavy too.
The kind you used to get in the lamps that they put on roadblocks on the side of the road.
Because
we used to steal them when we were kids.
Yeah, we've all done it. So Ripley's like looking at the screen. Hudson's like saying 5 meters, that's inside the room. Oh, well, it's 18 at this point, but they can't believe that Hudson's reading it right, but he is. And they're just trying to really desperately get this door sealed up. But let's see if we can spot the modern day office equipment. Oh, look at that photocopier. Okay. 2 photocopiers back to back, made out to be something else.
Oh, yeah, they've just kind of painted over a plaque to the buttons. Let's see. Is that a desk lamp to the right? Maybe.
No, that's just like a flashlight stroke.
Okay.
That was one of those where it had like a neon, not a neon light, like a fluorescent light, a regular lamp, and then it had the red, amber, green on the other side. I always wanted one of those as a kid, but I asked my dad for one for Christmas one year, and he told me to fuck off.
The lights on the ceiling is just what you would see in a normal office.
Yeah, it's just ceiling tiles. So they're looking at the door, expecting these bastards to break through. Hey, 7 meters. Hey, what the fuck? 6 meters. That's inside the room. And then they come to a bit of a realization. Treat him right, man. And 4 meters. Oh, shit. They've had it wrong all the time. All this barricading themselves in, they've kind of bottlenecked themselves. So let's have a bit of a looky-loo here. we'll go up into the ceiling tiles and have a look round. Oh, shit. We've got aliens. They're coming for us.
Oh, I remember the first time I watched this scene in when I first watched the movie in full, and this actually made me jump in my seat when they
Did
show
it?
all the Xenomorphs. Yeah, it was just because this movie does such a good job of building up the tension, and it's very strange because it does it in a completely different way than the first Alien movie did.
Ridley Scott's more
but it's still
methodical.
equally
This
effective.
is like gradual pressure, then release. More pressure, then release.
Exactly.
And it's almost like shaking a Coke bottle up.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good comparison. Yeah.
You know? They're trying to create that
Oh.
tension.
Are you trying to create tension with this layout right now?
Well, I'm accidentally pressing shit and it's just going a bit random. But I don't mind because it's kind of fun, really. I'm just trying to. There's that many fucking slides for this one that I've just had to delete 15 presentations to get to number 16.
Good Lord.
So let's go to number 16. So Hicks looks up there, he shits his pants, drops down, and then all fucking hell's gonna break loose. And the aliens.
I'm just sorry, just going through these slides, I'm realizing that Alien Isolation did a really good job of capturing a lot of elements from this specific Alien movie in the game.
And if you look here, there's only one person in a suit here, and that's the guy in the middle. That's Carl Toop, stunt performer, and he's jumping over that rail. The other two are just fixed. There's nobody inside them. They're just anchored to prominent positions in the scene. But I'd never noticed how animate these scenes were until I saw them at this level, doing the screenshots, how detailed they really are. So we'll all start firing away at these little bastards. One comes for Ripley, and she gets a sharp, quick lesson in how to use a pulse rifle. That's not a good look, Sigourney. It truly isn't. She looks like she's on the vinegar stroke, doesn't she, a little bit? But I like this scene here.
What does
you
that
see all
mean?
that acid flying out of it, and you can see the exoskeleton from behind itself. These explosive tip caseless rounds in the M41A really do the business. So she gives it a bit more. She tries to run for the door. Burke's a total arsehole, and he's just about to lock him in operations. Open the door, goddammit. So these guys continually trying to just fight for their life. And speaking of which, look what it says on the back of Hicks's armor. It says lifer.
Oh,
I'd never noticed that until today. If I had £1 for every time I've seen this film, I would have a shitload of money. And I never once noticed that. And can you see that pouch just on his arse there? That's where the battery goes for the lamp. That's how big that battery is.
Oh, the body unit thing.
So what's the big lump then on the back of the lamp when it's stuck on them?
I don't know. I think that might be sort of like a counterweight to make it look credible. It's just like a greebly of sorts. Oh, look, you can see the wires. Can you see look? There's 3 like pinion things holding that guy in the alien suit. Can you see the bolts?
Oh, I see one of them very distinctly at his
there's
hip.
3 of them all together.
I don't see the
They're
other
next to
2.
each other.
I'm blind.
Can you see them, Melv?
Yep. 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, there's 3. And you can see the wires.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I
Put
see it now.
your
I see
glasses
it now.
on, please.
I already have my glasses on, but I am legally blind.
There was when let's just rewind this slightly. When they got the cast together and they were training them and things like that, they got them to personalize their armor. So they were writing messages and putting little trinkets and things on them. And when James Remar got fired and they got Michael Biehn in, Michael Biehn didn't get to personalize his armor. He had to use James Remar's that already had like a chicken bone or something hanging to it and things like that.
There you go. Anyway, Hudson gets his moment of glory as he starts firing away, and he's swearing like chuff. And these scenes slowed down. You see some right detail, and I don't know if this effect is actually drawn in. You know, because it's almost like somebody's thrown a firecracker at him, and it's just
Yeah.
you know.
It would have been.
It doesn't look
No,
very
it doesn't look
organic
very
in the
real,
scene,
does it?
does
Or
it?
like it's a practical thing.
I think it would have been easier to do it
Mhm.
practically though than draw it in.
Yeah, but I suppose they couldn't
Probably.
really destroy these suits because they've got to be used, you know, for the rest of the scenes and reshoots
Yeah.
and anything that might come along.
When they
Just
shot
real-
them and you seen them
Oh.
exploding and things, you know, when you see it getting, you know, lots of bullets hitting it, it just kind of explodes on impact. They filmed that from lots of different angles so they could use the same shot over and over again.
Yeah, I can imagine. So anyway,
Just
Hudson's going
on
full
a quick
tilt,
note.
but the floor rises up beneath his feet, and one of these little bastards gets him. Oh, poor old Hudson. It was so much fun.
Did anyone else notice the use of red and blue light?
Yeah.
Throughout that entire
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Hudson's a goner. And then look at this. This Xeno just tries.
How did you say it? You said he
He
dead.
dead.
There you
He
go.
dead. He no coming back. Son bitch, it's dead. Oh
Or as we
boy.
say, deed.
Yeah, he's dead.
He's deed. Deed is a dodo.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Hudwin, says Emperor Goodwin. But when you slow this film down and you take these screenshots, I mean, I knew one jumped out at him and he shot it and it went over him, but not at this level of detail. You know? And they
Mhm. Oh, great white screen.
yeah, but look at all
right
the acid
there.
blood coming
Beautiful
off of
shot.
it. You wanted some splatter.
Not this kind of
Oh, you
splatter.
wanted a white creamy splatter.
No comment.
Okay. You've got a husband for that. So anyway,
Do
yeah.
I?
Last I heard, you were married. Behave. Does he actually watch your streams?
No.
I thought not.
You know, I'm guessing Vex Electronica isn't your real name. Because
Or
I mean,
is
you're a
it?
school teacher. I don't see you keeping a school teacher job doing these streams.
Whoa.
It's like that's fired if they ever find out who you really
I am not a school teacher. I work at a private learning
a
institution.
school. We call that.
A mental home.
No.
It's a mental home. Shh. Apparently,
Maybe I'm not at home right now. Maybe there are
Oh.
cats on my
Oh
lap.
God, this is going well. Emperor Goodwin says Vex brings her own splatter. I agree. Oh dear, we're going off the rails, and I'm loving it.
Sorry.
So
Sorry,
anyway,
sorry.
Hicks turns
Back
up with
to
his melting device this time, and melts the lock on the door because they've got to get out of there. Vasquez starts using the old pump action grenade launcher. And there's some good explosions. I didn't get enough just white screens. Next time, instead of fucking about doing all these slides and whittling my life away and doing stuff where I'm never going to get that time back, I'm just going to take just full color shots, like black screen, white screen, slightly opaque yellow
definitely.
screen.
I it makes us think more as panelists too. So you know what, I'm in total
Good.
support of this.
So anyway, they get through. Go on, Malf.
Show blank screens all the way through, and then see if the chat can guess the film.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Ooh.
Like a mime the film. The $1 million movie giveaway. Guess what the movie is? We'll give you $1 million. Yeah, and there's actually no slides or any clues.
Or here is your one slide. It's like a fingernail or something.
What's Marcel Marceau saying here? You know, that kind of shit. So anyway,
Marcel Marceau in the film Silent Movie, he is the only person to speak.
How ironic.
Yeah. It's one of them not so fun facts.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
I can only apologize.
Jay says, Trev presents Theatre of the Mind cut of Aliens. That black screen? Widescreen, slightly yellow opaque screen.
Aliens and modern interpretive dance.
Oh dear. What about aliens in Braille? On screen Braille. What's this say? I ain't got a fucking clue. It's a flat screen. Oh dear, I'm amusing myself now. So anyway, the t'other door's locked, and it's Burke because he's a dick. Vasquez tries to seal the door, but Burke's getting away. And we're going to get some just desserts. It's not a Mormon, it's a Xenomorph. Bye. That's a great scene for saying bye, asshole. He got what he deserved. There is a deleted scene in the atmosphere processor where Ripley finds Burke cocooned and impregnated. That's a nice word for you there, Vex. Impregnated. Oh dear. You're making moist sounds. Oh dear. You like Smilex's pocket.
What are you doing? Brushing your teeth during the stream. Come on. Be professional.
Yes. Other hygiene products are available. So Newt comes up with a cracking plan. Let's run through some ducting, because that's always going to work out well for you.
What for her?
Well, yeah. It's all right if you're 3'1".
Did you see Deep Rising?
I don't think so.
I won't spoil it for you then.
Is that the oil rig one?
No, it's the one with Treat Williams when they're going to the ocean liner and everybody's dead.
No, I've not seen that.
And they find one survivor, which is Famke Janssen, who was locked in a safe or something.
All right.
Good movie. You should watch it.
Yeah, I'm going to check the out.
What is this movie?
Deep
Sorry?
Rising. I was going to...
Oh, that sounds familiar.
I was going to tell you something interesting that this part reminded me of, but as you've not seen it, I won't spoil it.
Probably a good idea. So anyway, lock the door, but something's trying to get through regardless, and it can break steel. So Vasquez, gives it a bit of fuck you juice, and everybody tries to escape through these air ducts, which is kind of a callback to Alien, where Dallas was trying to hunt down the Xeno, where it was in all the air ducts. There are a few callbacks.
They're tastefully done, though,
They're
unlike all of
subtle.
the other ones.
So Hicks gets on the blower to Bishop, and he says the ship is on its way, ETA 16 minutes. So our plucky survivors so far are trying to get away. The aliens are coming after them. Vasquez is firing away. Excuse me. And they get to a bit of a crossroads. And Newt chuffs off. Ripley goes after her. Vasquez then runs out of ammo, switches to a 45, and then this bastard's above her head. But look at how Vasquez's hair has changed here.
Oh.
This is actually Gale Ann Hurd, dressed up as Vasquez.
She was a stunt
Well,
double?
she doubled for Vasquez in this scene. I can't remember the reason why, but that is because if you notice the hair, let me go back
Yeah, it's straight up. It's clean. There's no curls.
Yeah,
here it's
different
all...
eyebrows, different skin tone, and everything.
Actually, even the arm musculature.
And now the hair's swapped back to something more convincing. But we're back to Gale Ann Hurd's boot. So anyway, the character shoots the alien in the brain, gets acid all up her leg. She's fuckered. There's no way she's getting out. Gorman says to Hicks...
That's a new word for me. Fuckered. I've not heard that one before.
Fuckered? That's an old one, that is. Well, she is fuckered. She's not going to get far, is she, with a leg melting off?
I'm sure she is. It's just not an expression I've heard. I thought I knew all the swear words. So I had to.
She might get disability.
Swear in school.
So she's like, "Oh no, man! How am I going to get weed across the border?" That wasn't Mexican at all, was it? Fucking Swedish. Jesus.
My people have no bumhole.
TB for my bumhole. I am Cornholio. Settle down, Beavis.
This was a family
It
stream, I
was.
thought.
Melv, you lowered the tone.
You know, Trev, you're the worst thing on all your streams. You know, you always.
Oh, Melv,
you
you're
can't
the
stop yourself.
stream killer tonight.
You got no self-control.
Unlike Laura Branigan. Anyway.
Oh, she died as well. Why does everybody
Yeah, she
keep
did.
dying?
I know. So Gorman's trying to drag Vasquez, minus a leg, to safety, but through one of the air ducts, we've got Mr. Alien paying a visit, and Gorman tries shooting it. Oh, they are stunning bastards, aren't they, these aliens? So we've got a bit of a point in the film which is a bit frustrating for me. You can see what's going to happen here before it even happens. So they try and get across this, and it seems laboured like they're taking the time purposely. Gorman runs out of ammo, and the aliens just keep on coming. And he's got an M40 grenade. So there's no way out for these guys. So Gorman thinks, oh, fuck it, and presses the button. And they clamp onto this, and she says, you always were an asshole, Gorman. And kablooey, coming in with the teeth.
That's the sound effect? Kablooey?
Wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, wow.
And instead of just going for the pearlescent yellowy light, I thought I'd do one of these instead and show you the flames. Like, you know, so you feel the ambience of the movie. It's nice and toasty.
I just can't with these fucking slots.
So anyway. Oh, fucking hell, I want some of what you've had. Oh, dear.
Are you going to show us the black screen right before the credits?
I don't know, I might do. So anyway, explosion knocks annoying little shit kid into this air vent. That's a nice slide. Look at her. It's like she's got a tongue out doing an Aussie. So anyway, she's a bit screwed here. Ripley tries to save her, but this is just you can see what's. You know how you get to certain points and it's a cliche. This scene for me almost comes across like a cliche. It's like Cameron put it in on purpose.
You know what? I can understand, because up until this point, Ripley hasn't really had much development when it comes to kind of the motherly part of her. So if you don't do this, then you have no chance to properly explore that outside of just kind of almost out of context scenes.
Kid slips out and she goes slip and slide. Ripley's like, stay where you are. But for some reason, she's got one of these magic watches. It's like a Knight Rider watch, but you can't call Kit on it. So they go to find Newt. She's sort of becoming MacGuffin in a way.
Newt has or Ripley
she's become like a MacGuffin. So they get out the air shafts. It's nice to get out of a shaft, don't you think, Vex?
I think it's better to get shafted.
Well, a matter of opinion. Never mind. So they try and retrieve Newt. And there we go. Her hands are sticking out. And they tell her to just get down because he's got that magic cutting device. So they try and rescue her. Oh shit. We've got incoming signals on the motion tracker. But, oh dear.
Iconic
I think the
scene
little
here.
kid is about to shit her pants. It's a good job she's in the
Who's
water.
to say she already hasn't? There's probably a floater just off
you never know.
at this point. Just out of because I'm none are coming to mind. Is this the only time that we've seen a xenomorph in water?
Well, Alien 3, they had them swimming, didn't they?
No, that was Resurrection.
Did they?
Yeah, Resurrection. Sorry, Resurrection.
Yeah, they could swim in Res.
There was a chase scene where the aliens actually chased them as they're trying to swim away.
Oh look,
Okay, I have no recollection of
there you go, Vex. I left you
Resurrection,
a bit
so
of
that's
actual
probably why.
contextual colour in the bottom. Look, now go back. You can see the doll there, and what's left of the doll, just for you. You're all right there. I left a little corner in for you. Even Ripley's impressed at that slide. So anyway, Ripley's pretending to be a decent mother, even though she's a shit one because she left a daughter far behind. Yes, Emperor J. Goodwin says Alien Resurrection has them swimming, yes, badly, in CGI. That film was for shit.
Yep.
I mean, it really is shit. The only thing I like about that is the fact that the voice of Chucky's in it, Brad Dourif.
Brad Dourif, who made a career playing slimy weirdos.
Mm.
I think the best thing in Resurrection was
The end credits?
Ron Perlman.
Oh no, it's just Ron Perlman being Monkey Man Ron Perlman as usual.
Yeah, but he's good at it.
Jean-Pierre Jeunet is a shit director.
The design of the aliens as well were probably the best to date for any of the films.
Maybe. Anyway, getting onto this scene, I like this scene because it's really claustrophobic. You're starting to feel that tension. You've got that expectation. You know it's coming. You know it's there, but you can't see it. So doors start shutting and this little twat comes flying in. There we go. I left you a bit of gun and a bit of... what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? A tiny bit of splatter. If you tilt your head to one side, Vex, tilt your head to the right, you can. It looks 3D and you can see a bit more colour.
I like that you spent 3 days on this, and these are some of the slides you left in.
Well, we've got to leave them in for context. There we go. A bit more splatter there and a bit more drawn-in sparkiness. And that alien's toast. But Hicks hasn't got any on his face at all. It's all on his chest plate. But by the time they get it off, after his face is... look, he's got none on his face. And then later, all his face is fucked up. So they get out of the lift, and she's dragging him. Luckily... Bishop's remote piloting that dropship from the Sulaco, and it turns up and he lands it perfectly. And he says, "Oh, we've got plenty of time, we've got 19 minutes. And she says, "We're not leaving." He's like, "We're not?" Fucking kid, that robot says. Well, he should have done. That kid was just a fucking bind. Keep her in as a plot device, but I don't think it paid off. And this is like this is a great shot. They take off in the dropship and head towards the atmosphere processor. And I just love that James Horner's score here. The whole score is very reminiscent of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Obviously, he did the music for that in Star Trek 3. But it's very Star Trek. And I like it. But the mottos and the cues and the themes that he come up with for this film, they're really good, and this particular bit of music's really good. She starts doing a bit of a MacGyver with the guns, a pulse rifle, and a flamethrower. And look, he's all fucked up. He only had it on his chest plate. He's got it all over his arms and his shoulder and his face.
He's probably got the same problem I have with superglue.
What?
Every time I touch it, every time I touch superglue, it's like I stick myself to everything.
Jesus.
Every time, even if I'm just gluing the tiniest little thing, and I just put that tiny little drop on and set the glue down, and then my fingers are all stuck together magically.
Did you ever have an American Pie 2 moment with that super glue, Melvin?
I'm happy to say no. I've never even had an American Pie moment without it either.
Emperor Goodwin says, Alien Resurrection is shit, but somehow still better than Prometheus and Covenant. Yeah, I agree there. He also says the music is also very recycled from his score for Commando. There are a few bits of Commando in it, except for the bit at the beginning where he goes... Sorry, I get carried away. More of this Blue Lightning, and this is Platform 7 of Gate 28 in the atmosphere processor. Obviously, it's...
Can I sorry, just momentarily, if I may. Trev, I would love to hear you just read the entire script and do all the voices for this movie and then upload it with these stills.
Why am I doing that anyway? Or I'm
Well, it's just we're breaking up the conversation. We're not getting every single line, but that's content to fall asleep to.
am I boring?
That's content to.
Do you want me to do it?
It's
I'll tell you
soothing.
what. I'll do the rest of these slides. ASMR.
How are you going to describe the white and black slides?
Hang on. Let me just. I'm scraping the metal inside the dropship. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Oh, I'm getting very fluid.
Yeah, I feel like you should have put a sock on the door handle.
Yeah.
Yeah, ASMR aliens.
I'm giving you tingles. It's not a face hugger. I'm gently stroking you.
Trev said this was going to be a family-friendly show.
Well, look, I doubt there's any kids watching at this time. It's like 1:15 in the morning here in the UK.
Yeah, it's okay. They can get it on the re-rob.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Bollocks. Z says in the chat, ooh, this is creepy. I do apologise. Blame Vex. It's all her fault. She brings out the worst in me.
I'm just saying there's a missed opportunity.
I'm sitting here right beside them, Z. Think how I feel.
She's loaded 95 rounds, which will soon be 42. She's put on that kid detector or little bastard sensor. It's a kid detector. Beep beep beep. There's a little bastard in front.
Is that what the white vans at the park has?
God, I don't know about that. So Bishop says, in 19 minutes, this area is going to be a cloud of vapor the size of Nebraska. And she's saying, I don't want to hear it. She's alive. Because she was saying they don't kill you in a previous scene because they take you to be a host. Yeah, look at fucking Hicks hamming it up. Oh yeah, I can't come with you. I've got a bone in my arm. Yeah, you stay there, you lazy bastard. So she goes full on Rambo-lina, and she's going to go and try and rescue Newt. These bloody things are absolutely frustrating, these lifts. So she goes down to one of the sub-levels, but she's like loading up on the guns and the heavy artillery. And look, there we go. It says 42 now on the side of that gun instead of 95. So we're back to 42. Unless they swapped the guns over during takes, and that one from the scene in operations had a bit of a faultiness to it.
Or maybe there's a deep-coded message that we've all been missing, and what it's really alluding to is the Prometheus and Covenant prequels.
Okay. Ripley is concentrating. Oh, yeah. She's deep in concentration.
Is her skin glistening?
It's positively moist, and she's salivating, and she's excited at the thought.
What?
I can't keep doing that and keep a straight face. Oh, Gavin Blackburn, stop going on about that awful bastard, please. So, yeah, she's lighted the burner for the barbecue. And the lift's about to open. Oh, and she looks like she means business. And there's a bit coming up in the next set of pictures. And I don't know, I'd love to know how they did this one effect. Like, there's these pipes, and they're super hot. But obviously they're not real. I just wonder how they got that effect. You see the red pipes? It's like, just how did they get that effect?
You know, could have been like a blacklight effect.
Yeah,
to
could
be
have been.
honest. Or fluorescent paint. I know fluorescent paint was pretty popular during this era of filmmaking.
So Ripley's covering her ass by spraying everywhere with napalm. And she's being thorough.
Mm-hmm. Fuck, I'm really starting to realize how much Romulus just tried to copy and paste this movie specifically.
Fede Alvarez thought he was reinventing the wheel, but he was just fucking copying it.
He was, and he wasn't even doing a good job at it.
Well, there are rumoured reasons why it went the way it went, because a certain English director came down and says, here's how you should be doing this. You just piss off for a coffee and I'll I don't know how true it is, but
The day he dies will be the day that Alien will.
why does he
hopefully get
think
back on
he's the
track.
fucking be-all and end-all of the franchise? He is
I
not.
don't believe that. I think that this is just the era of blame Ridley Scott for anything. It's just one of them things.
It's
He
a
didn't
case of, you know...
He didn't direct the film and he didn't finance the film, so he really has no say in the film.
I don't know. Scott-free Productions, and he gets a full executive producer credit.
But he didn't finance it, though.
So why does it say scot-free then?
Because
his company.
He gets a producer credit because he owns some of the rights.
Wow. It was a bag of shit anyway, and it's disappointing, and it's getting a sequel for some reason.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Made money. That's
It
why it's
made
getting
money.
a sequel.
Solo lost money. So we're going down to Solo lost money. It's all right.
Star Wars. Oh, yeah.
So this is quite funny. Ripley's firing this flamethrower, and you can see that this set here is just made out of fiberglass resin. You see straight fucking through it. I like it. But if you notice here, they've gone for that Nostromo effect. You know, when she's trying to make her way to the escape shuttle. Because it's all very similar. Like these shots.
Well, yeah, because basically the ending was stolen from Alien, isn't it? It's just
Well,
like
yeah, it's the copy and paste formula. You've got the call to arms, call to action, got to escape, big explosion. But we get a double whammy with this film. He does it twice. So he does the Ridley Scott bit, and then he does his own bit. But look at this here. It looks as though somebody has just stuck a 14-inch kielbasa up her arsehole.
That's a really specific thing to stick up.
Yeah, but
your
just
ass.
the sheer look of like, the fuck did you get that in there?
Yeah, I'm just, of all the things that you could pick.
Why can't you get 14-inch kielbasas?
Are you shoving 14-inch kielbasas up your ass?
No, not really. That was just off the top of my head.
Not really. Not really. Hold on.
I'm glad to report there's nothing been that way. It's one way and it's out. There's never been any inbound traffic in my hole. Thank you. So anyway, 22.3 meters away from annoying little bastard. But she's going for it. She's going full retreat. She's gone full bear mama. She wants that kid. And she's going deeper into the hive. Keeps dropping markers. There's a scene in one of the edits, a deleted scene, where she bumps into Burke. And he's cocooned and he's impregnated. And he begs for Ripley's help. She gives him a grenade and then just walks off. And then you hear a boom. And that's Carter Burke gone. There we go. So 0 meters. And it turns out that groovy Knight Rider watch got dumped on the floor. Just going back, speaking of watches, Seiko re-released that watch about 5 years ago. And I really wish I'd have bought one, but it was just too damn expensive. So Ripley goes on a bit of a melt, but Kiddo is cocooned, wakes up, and gets that annoying sex mushroom awoken. You said
what?
It was like a mushroom.
A mushroom
yeah,
tip.
that's why I said annoying sex mushroom.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay.
So this kid does what she does best and screams a lot. Ripley hears it, goes full tilt. And, oh, look, there, we've got a face hugger there.
Spider vagina.
A fanny hand. So Ripley goes gung-ho, shoots away, gets it. We've got a bit of splatter there. Well, that looks like a piss sample more than acid blood, doesn't it?
With the lighting a little bit, yeah.
That's not a good look, Sigourney. So anyway, seeing that light from the gunfire, you can see this Xenomorph making its way towards her. And she gives it what for. That's quite a good explosion there. I think in post, people have drawn those wavy lines on, you know. Really? There's some rum stuff going off in the chat.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Seems Mrs. Goodwin and I are on the same
You
wavelength.
never
Huh.
know. The more you know. Yeah, so Ripley's going for it, manages to get annoying little kid out, but we get some explosions, and she can't get out the way she came. Bit of an explosion there, and we see more explosions and those red pipes that I'm so fucking fascinated about. So Ripley tries to get away.
It looks like those kielbasa's
Yes.
you stick up your
And
ass.
she goes
That's
through a
why.
mysterious sex fog, doesn't she, Vegs? You know all
No,
that.
she's got a child. Let's take
Oh,
sex
sorry.
fog away
Yeah,
from
inappropriate.
the child.
I take that back. Yes. I knew it was ill-timed, but I did it anyway. I'm sorry. And it turns out she's ended up in a nursery full of little face hugger eggs. And she sees an ovipositor depositing ovomorphs on the floor in this part of the atmosphere processor. And it's attached to this big bitch here. This is the Queen alien. I felt like Yucko the Clown then when I said that. This big bitch. Oh, sleep deprivation. I love it. Oh, dear. 1:25. I've never gone the distance like this. Melv, I hope you appreciate this. We're 3 hours and 25 minutes deep so far.
You were never getting it in 2 hours, man. I told you.
I know.
You were gonna try to do this with fucking skills in 2 hours?
Mel said earlier, oh, you'll never do this in 2 hours. And I said, who said out about 2 hours?
Well, you usually try and get them 2 hours, right?
Oh, yeah. But this is Aliens. This is different. This is one of my favourites. I will go the distance.
So here's the fun fact here. The Queen alien wasn't designed by Giga.
Stan Winston.
Yes, I'm aware of that. Yep.
Was it not Stan Winston's Creature Workshop?
It was indeed Stan Winston.
And do you know what they used to test it all out? Instead of actually making the Queen alien, right? They used bin bags, black bin sacks.
Really?
Yeah.
So what did they do? Just inflate them and tie them together to see?
No,
what
they just like stuck it onto cardboard and made it look half convincing, just to do like a motion test.
Oh well, I suppose you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. So the Queen's not impressed, and she's got a couple of warriors either side of the entrances to the nursery, and Sigourney's giving it that mother shit again. So she fires a bit off. And Alien Queen's not too impressed because she's quite smart. So she threatens an egg or two and gives her that look like, let me go, bitch. So she signals those warriors to back off, and they do. Which is quite good. Hive mind. So
this wasn't sorry, just to refresh my, because again I didn't get to finish this part. This isn't the one where they have like the eggs kind of like on a belt?
No, that's AVP.
Moving, or was AVP?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay.
The semi-legible one. The one I can actually watch.
The one that's just fun. It's not good, but it's a lot of fun.
The one with Lance Henriksen in.
Oh shit! Yeah, he's
Carl
Wayland,
Bishop
isn't he?
Wayland.
Yeah.
So anyway, this facehugger egg opens up, annoying sex mushroom, as we like to call it. Ripley's like, for real? So you're going to pay for that?
Skibbity Riz.
So it's boiled eggs for tea, not the kind that you'd actually like to eat. And then these warriors come back to protect the nursery. Tough shit, too late. Ripley's going full on. She's lost her shit. She's firing away, shooting, running out of ammo, but she doesn't give a shit. Queen's not too chuffed, and we start with the old pump-action grenade launcher, and that ovipositor's getting moist. It's getting popped, and the juice is going everywhere. Ripley's obviously experiencing some turbulent juice herself, and likes making more of it. And
it's a great. Sorry. Could you go back a slide, because you really. Yeah, this is wonderful. What is this? Is this someone's ovaries exploding?
It's the Queen's
is that what this is?
ovipositor, the egg sac, being punctured
hot.
by a grenade, so it's actually exploding from the inside. So Ripley fires again, And the Queen's none too chuffed.
That's actually a very good side
Yeah, and this is back projected again because James Cameron loves using back projection. So she's walking backwards, trying to get out, and there's another drone behind her. Behind you, annoying kid says, and she shoots the shit out of that one, gives it a double whammy, and then she's not happy with destroying the nest. She chucks in a whole, like, belt of grenades. This fucker's going up big style. So the Queen gets knocked off her perch. She gets rid of her egg sac, starts chasing after Ripley. Ripley makes a sharp exit. We've got more of this lightning and shit. And she runs to the elevators. But typical that, she presses the buttons and they're up at the top and she's like, oh shit. Time sensitive, we need to get out of here. And she can hear the Queen screeching in the background. And here she is. She managed to get through all those narrow passageways and up two flights of stairs and does it in record time.
You know what? Never underestimate the will of a disgruntled woman.
So anyway, lift arrives, Ripley gets in it, and the Queen starts making her way towards her. That's to say that's a miniature. That looks quite convincing. So Ripley starts shooting away, but she's running out of juice. The gun starts waning on her, but luckily she manages to get up there and start making her way up to that platform. Unfortunately, she called both lists at the same time, and this one turns up, opens up, and the Queen's like, huh? Well, she's a smart cookie. So Ripley and Newt are making an escape for it, opens up at the platform. Is it going to be good news? Did the robot do as he was told? Or did he think, fuck you, Sigourney Weaver, you're getting 6 times what I'm getting. I'm getting chump change, you're getting millions. She arrives at the platform and there's nobody there and it's goddamn you, Bishop. And the atmosphere processor really starts going tilt. Ripley notices that elevator's coming for it. She knows it can't be a good thing. And things start getting really fucking hairy now. This thing's about to pop. It's going to blow. It's going to make a big mess everywhere. Lightning. I mean, this place is virtually destroying itself from the inside out. And we get this unfortunate scene where the elevator opens up. Oh, bugger, we knew it was coming. It was getting a bit obvious at this point. So she's like, close your eyes, baby. But she didn't. She says, look, it's Bishop. So Bishop turns up in the nick of time. The Queen's none too chuffed about it. So Ripley's making a quick escape. Quick, get onto the dropship. But an explosion makes things go tilt. And the dropship gets knocked onto this platform into a bunch of junk. It manages to put this landing gear up. And she says, punch it, Bishop. So he puts his foot down. Gets out of there, out of that atmosphere processor. And then it's like, dun, 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 dun. You could tell by James Horner's score, when everything's going to go pear-shaped. Well, actually, mushroom-shaped in this case.
That same piece of music was used in the trailer for Terminator 2, wasn't
it? More than likely. I mean, the really shitty trailer that I found, because I wanted the original 4:3 aspect trailer, it got music from Alien in it.
Great shot right here, Trav.
There you go. I
Wonderful.
got your natural bit of something happening amongst the white. There we go. You know what you like, and it's white, white, white. There was a nice mushroom cloud for you, thanks. And then Bishop says, it's all right, we're okay. And bizarrely enough, this little girl says, I knew you'd come. Find that quite disturbing. And the dropship gets away. And I love that because the music just subtly changes. It becomes...
Is that the dropship?
What? Did I say something funny?
No. Just a black dot.
No, it was the starscape. I wanted, like, it's, I wanted the ambience of outer space.
Inky black space.
Yes. So, dropship back on the Sulaco. I don't know how they get back in. They never show you how to get back in. So anyway, Ix has been dosed up to keep him quiet because he was on a day rate at this point in the film. They'd kind of run out of money, so no dialogue, you don't get paid. So
Well, there was something interesting about this.
hmm,
The actors who were based in Britain didn't get residuals.
Really?
It was a union thing. They were in the wrong union, and it was
Oh,
just the American one. So like it was on that Michael Bean thing. They were saying it was like only like about 3 of them got residuals from it until recently, and then
well, residuals are
something changed, and then everybody started getting the residuals. But for years, it was just a few of them, just the ones who were based in America. So even some of the American actors were actually living in London.
Yeah, Mark Rolston was living in London,
Yeah.
and I think there was a couple of others. Yeah, residuals. They don't. You don't get residuals on films these days. I don't think they've changed it all. So they leave Hicks on board the dropship, and Ripley's actually nice to Bishop now. Hang on a minute, this android's not that bad. So she said, "You did good, Bishop," and he's like, "I did." He's gone all fucking emo Phillips at this point.
Emo Phillips' dad.
Yeah. So anyway, he looks down, and there's a bit of acid. Oh dear. Then he goes, "Oh, milky, milky." Oh look, he's got white sticky fluid in his ivex. Has that ever happened to you?
I mean, I sometimes shoot out white sticky fluid into men's eyes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. You should be careful with your vanilla milkshake, dear.
Oh, I mean, sometimes people are just thirsty, and I am a person that
Well, there
likes
you
to help
go.
others.
So anyway, Bishop gets split in two. Yeah, I love these androids. She's like, "What the fuck? You don't stand there. You get the fudge out of Rog, don't you? Basically." So the alien queen's made its way aboard the Sulaco, and then she wants to get Newt, but Ripley's like, "No, over here. I'm far more tasty." So the queen starts going for it. She tells Newt to get out of the way. Conveniently, this cover's been left off, like they would have left that there. That's just an implausible plot device. So anyway, she knows she's in the clear. She makes a run for it. Queen comes after her, and she locks herself in this bay here, which is kind of cool, really. Queen starts banging away, but she's not getting anywhere. Ripley spots something, and I like this. I know for a fact that's just a hole in the floor, and Lance Henriksen's just popping through, and he's got a fake torso on. But it's still good because every now and again there's like milk squirting out of one of those tubules. I think it's very convincing.
I just realized Prometheus copied that as well.
It's all derivative, and it's just so fucking boring, to be fair. Newt's looking up through the grill. Queen's looking down at her, and there's a bit of a chase goes on. I cut it short and just got to the point. The Queen gets her in a corner. Kid starts squealing as usual. I think she was on a fucking squeal bonus. You know, if you can squeal, you get another $10. Maybe.
She must be related to that one from Temple of Doom.
Yeah. So anyway, Alien Queen spins round, and Ripley's geared up. We get the classic line, "Get away from her, you bitch," which they ripped off Romulus when it was totally shit. And everybody in the cinema, when I went to see that, groaned. They all went, "Oh, for fuck's sake." And we all said it at the same time. So anyway, that kid's being a nosy little shit. Ripley's giving it all this in that power suit, and battle ensues. And they like slapping each other about. Come on! Like the fucking alien understands what you're saying.
It might. It's pretty intelligent.
So anyway, this battle cracks on, and Queen starts with the old tail. And I never noticed how close the Queen actually got to piercing Ripley. Would have been a short ending, really. So anyway, get her a bit scrappy-do. It starts getting a bit boring, but she's got control of that airlock. You know, I said about foreshadowing earlier. So to close that lock, they made a point of pointing it out. So yet again, it was an early doors plot device. So that's the outer airlock. And I'm so glad we're getting to the last batch of slides. God. Oh, it feels a bit like a prison sentence, this one today, but it's all good fun. I blame Melvin. Melvin said I had to go deeply, so I went deeply for Melvin. And this is where it got me. 3 hours and 39 minutes. Well, I like to feel the ambience of going the distance.
But if you edit this and cut out all the vaginas, then it's going to be about an hour and a half flat.
Well, if I edit it down and just take out the best bits, that'll be me going, night, everybody. The end. So anyway, battle ensues, and we go with the choppers. She comes back with the welder. She don't like flames, and you're going to see something in a second. You know how every now and again you get a slide and it's priceless? Are you ready for this one?
Go on.
Yes.
That is the worst fucking miniature I've ever seen.
Dang. You can tell it's a miniature. You can't.
It's like a fucking Barbie.
How long was it on screen for, though?
About 3/4 of a second, if that.
3/4 of a second. Too much.
Yeah, but I kind of went to the nth degrees to get these slides. So anyway, Queen grabs hold of the power loader. They're fucking gold fillings. I shit you not. She's got gold fillings.
Canadian gold.
Yukon gold. And this is bad as well, because look at that light at the top of that Caterpillar power loader. It's clearly smashed, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's fixed. it's back in one piece.
Oh.
So anyway, Ripley tries to make an escape. Oh yeah, get up that ladder. Oh no, the Queen wants her Reeboks. So she grabs a leg. So Ripley's like, hang on a minute, I've fucking got you here. If you want to be a clever fucker, I've got the perfect solution. So she opens the airlock. Why there's an airlock opening lever there? It's in the worst places of all time. So Ripley opens the barn door, starts sucking, and sucking the air out.
You would also think that you would need some kind of authorization code or something to open the airlock, both airlocks at the same time while you're in space.
Yeah.
It's like you wouldn't just let anybody do that. It would have to be somebody who was allowed to do it.
Space is a harsh environment, especially for humans. Oh, I know. I'll just open this fucking door. Yeah, that's going to work out well for you, isn't it? That's your oxygen privileges gone, dipshit. So anyway, we get a bit of action here. And yet again, that looks like a really bad model. But it's not. Yes, it is. But I like this bit here. So the power loader goes. Ripley's like hanging on for dear life. Queen's got hold of her Reeboks. Yes, they are Reeboks. And we're going to get a bit of sweaty sock syndrome coming up soon. Because the Queen pulls too hard. Ripley shakes a leg out. And sweaty sock. Bye-bye. And then the Queen's royally ejected and flushed out into space. Ripley gets up that ladder. She's got to shut the doors. Kid nearly goes into space, which is a shame she didn't. But Bishop grabs hold of her, saves the day. She gives Bishop a cuddle. Ripley's clambering out for dear life. And I like this. Does anybody like playing slot machines? I don't personally. But if you look, they're buttons off for a fucking slot machine.
Hold.
I'm sure one of them said nudge. So anyway, she closes the doors. And we're all safe again. And Ripley does this mother bit. She clambers for that little girl, gives her a big cuddle. Kid calls her mommy. And he's like, well, it's not bad for a human. She's like, what? No. Oh, somebody's got wind chimes.
Oh, sorry, that was the front door camera alarm.
That's all right. Your
triggering.
pizza's turned up.
Yeah.
So anyway, they put Bishop and Hicks into cryo. And she says, are we going to sleep all the way home? And she's like, well, I wouldn't like to fucking stay up for 17 days. Get your fucking head down, kid. Can I dream? Yeah, you usually can. And thank fuck that's over. That was the slides. Thoughts, lady and gentlemen?
Newt never shows up for the rest of the franchise.
Somebody pretending to be her does. And she's on the screen for a very short amount of time.
Oh, I think that was in like Resurrection.
It's three, yeah.
Wasn't it?
Charles Dance does an autopsy on her. Let me swap that around. That's a bit better. Let me have a play. No, that's shit. That's shit.
I like that. No, I like the 3 bars.
Yeah, but your avatar's gone a bit funky.
What do you mean?
It looks a bit pixelated to me, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, that's strange why it's just one.
Yeah. Let me stick you in the middle. You can have a Melvin Trev sandwich. Does that work better? No. How'd you like being sandwiched between me and Melv?
I can finally get sauce on my roast beef sandwich.
Well,
okay. Would you like sriracha?
There you go.
Or mayo? Well, that was Aliens. That has got to be like up there. That's definitely in my top 3.
Well, didn't you say it was your joint favorite or something else?
It is my joint favorite. You would
joint
Mega
with what
Force.
Else?
Really?
Oh,
really?
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that.
It's the funnest shit film. It's never a proper film. It's like a TV made for TV film, but it's got Devon Miles in it, and Barry Bostwick, and Persis Kambata, and the guy from The Warriors, Michael Beck.
Yeah, Vex wasn't born for any of them.
No, and it was made by and directed by Hal Needham. And there's one bit that's so fucking bad, it's good. There's one of the Megaforce team, and he's French, but clearly it's some guy from California. And he goes, it's a con dashboard is lit up like the red light district. And it's the worst fucking French accent, and it's just so cliched. But it's so fucking funny because it's so bad. Stream killer.
I mean, it was funny when Peter Sellers did it, so why not?
Yeah, maybe. Final thoughts, Vex, on Aliens?
This is probably the best sequel to a movie I think exists. I know you mentioned Star Wars, but I think Star Wars sucks.
Yeah, me too.
Somehow this I don't know, it goes in a completely different direction than the first movie, but it works in every single way possible. I like that all of the female characters that kind of show up in this film, in my opinion, are kind of varying degrees of PTSD or trauma, right? So you have Vasquez, who is the war hero. She just kind of keeps moving on, right? She makes jokes. She kind of embodies a little bit of that.
She's a turbo lesbo,
male
I
stoicism. Probably, yeah, right? Then you have Ripley, who's kind of the middle ground. She's kind of more or less how most of us would respond to trauma, just try and move on, but we kind of quietly deal with it. And then you have Newt, who is just a child. She really hasn't experienced enough life or lived through much of anything to really understand how to process those emotions. On equal footing, I think there's a lot of good tension building, and there's a lot of adequate stakes that are built outside of the very obvious we need to survive a super alien kind of thing. So you kind of have the I guess the political and business stakes with Yutani. There's there's Ripley trying to like figure out what's next because she's not a mother anymore. There's also her trying to confront just in general what her purpose is because she doesn't have anything.
I think
left
it takes a tongue-in-cheek poke at corporate America.
I would agree with that as well, because everything that is related to Wayland here, it's just simply, how can this benefit us? How is this financially viable? Fuck everything else, right? And that is very reminiscent of how, especially during this time, corporate America was just really looking for the next buck or the next kind of big pond to fish bills
it
out
also
of,
kind of
right?
embodies the Gordon Gecko ethos of, greed is good.
I
Screw
wouldn't have
everybody
called
else.
it. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's a
have
good point.
called her a tongue-in-cheek poke at them. I think it was like a genuine poke at them because it was pretty accurate how they behave.
True. But the thing is, there's so many
So,
layers to this film. It just depends how deep you want to
yeah.
go. If you want to just not engage your brain and just have a fun roller coaster ride of an action movie, this is the one. There's also it's much like an onion. You peel away at it, there's another layer, and then another layer,
Ogres are like onions.
This movie, it is like the onion. Why does it make you cry? No, it's got fucking layers, you twats.
You have a point though, right? Like you can just watch this and be a normie brain and you'll still have fun with it because there's enough action, there's enough thriller, there's enough horror, and it's a clear enough and simple enough storyline that you can follow it through and through. But if you're like us and we enjoy finding
The
the deeper
minutia.
meaning and symbolism, right, it's like you also have a wealth of stuff to unpack
Yeah.
there. So this is like a pretty perfect film in many regards. Like even the few was it plot conveniences and such that we pointed out, they don't really hinder the immersion. They don't negatively reflect on any of the character arcs or how the plot plays out. Do you want a ranking, like
If
a
you
grade?
wish, if you
A
want to
score?
score it out of 5, that'd be good. How many
Oh, out of 5?
stars?
Okay, I give this 4.5
Me too, to be fair.
artificial person liquid out of 5.
Melv, what do you think?
I can't do it at 5. My brain doesn't function. I need 10s.
Yeah, 10
Oh,
is
for
easier for
fuck's
me, so I'm
sake,
9
you
out of 10.
demanding pair. Right, just hold on one second. Vex, how many out of 10?
Oh, so I give this 9 squirting artificial persons
In
out
a
of
milky,
10.
juicy, moist fluid kind of way. Right, Melv, you get
Exactly.
to pick out of 10.
Out of 10,
Mm.
here's what I'll say. I will say, I think it's not as good as Alien. Although
Right.
it's a different kind of film, it's difficult to make a comparison.
I prefer Alien to
Yeah.
Aliens, but I can't deny that this is a pretty
It is a
good
taste
movie.
thing about
Yeah.
which one you like better, but what one actually is better is clearly Alien, right?
Do you know what I'd do
Mhm.
if I could make like my own cut of Alien? There's quite a lot I'd cut out just to increase the pacing. It's just the general pace of the film is too morose and slow for me. It's too pedestrian.
I
To
thought it
be
was
fair,
perfect. I thought the
to
pace
be
was
Yeah.
necessarily that slow.
For you, maybe.
Also oh,
It's all right.
sorry.
Go on.
Again, yeah, taste.
Oh,
But
no.
I think
Oh.
on a technical level, Alien had less things wrong with it than Aliens, so that makes it a better film. And also that James Cameron stole the ending.
Yeah, it kind of did, and then doubled down on it and did it a bit more.
Yeah, but it's one of the best sequels, definitely. Maybe not the best one. I mean, it's not as good as Godfather 2, but maybe that's probably too slow for some people as well.
Yeah. See, the thing, I have a problem with Godfather movies. I've never fucking seen them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I reckon the Godfather 2 is about as close to a 10 as you're ever going to get.
Really?
As films go. And
See, not my bag.
you don't get many 10s. I mean, I can't say it's a 10 because probably nothing's a 10, but Godfather
Vex says she's a
2 is
perfect 10,
about as
but she
close
wears a
as you're gonna
4.
find.
I'd definitely give it a solid 9. Solid.
Empire Strikes Back.
I'll give it a solid 9.
I like Empire Strikes Back more, but Aliens is probably a better movie.
Vex.
Again, different kinds of movies.
You know what? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Mel.
out of 10, I would give it an 8.5.
It's not bad. Vex.
Yeah, just on Melvin's point, like it's two different films, so like it almost feels dishonest to even compare Alien and Aliens. But I would agree that Alien is the objectively better film. I actually don't think it's slow at all, but that's because I think it does a really good job at building atmosphere, and I find that makes the horror and the action and all of the chaos hit a lot harder by contrast. So, like, I can understand why people prefer Aliens over Alien. They are two very different movies, and therefore appeal to two very different audiences. But I rank Alien higher. Like, Alien is probably my top 10.
Hello, Vex. I want to play a game.
Okay.
Sorry, I just wanted to do that.
Oh.
Well, I hope you're sufficiently entertained, everyone. Hello, Flav. Thanks for joining us. We're about done. Melv, are you entertained, sir?
I am very easy to entertain.
I have given you what you wanted, sir. I've given you a mammoth. I've given you an epic proportion.
Yeah, I like Zombievers, so I am very easily entertained.
Oh, Zombieverse was so much fun. Come on. Well, come on. That was a fun movie.
Did you know they made a sequel to Cocaine Bear?
They did, yes.
Crack Coon.
Oh, there's also Meth Gator and Cocaine Shark.
Oh, Jesus.
And there was one with crabs as well. I think it was Cocaine Crabs or something like that.
Fucking hell. What about Weed Beavers?
No, I haven't. No, cannabis isn't interesting because cannabis just makes everyone chill. Nobody wants to kill on cannabis.
Here's how we're going to get rich, okay?
Go on.
We're going to make a film, right?
Yeah.
Called Heroin Hyenas.
Fucking hell. I can't stop laughing. I chose not to choose wildebeest. I chose something else.
Now, hold on. If we're talking hyenas, does this take place in Africa? So it's just going to laugh and then eat a bunch of black people?
Well, maybe a zoo, and some kids chuck them some drugs, and they manage to escape, and they start terrorizing a small town in Middle America.
Oh.
Or it could be like set, 10,000 years ago when they had hyenas everywhere.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But they probably didn't have heroin everywhere. I don't know.
No. No, it wasn't very prevalent back in the Stone Age, was it?
Well, let's make a different film then.
And on that note, I'm going to say thank you to Melvin Deeply. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been a giggle, as always.
It has. And Vex, as always, it was grand to have you on the stream. It was nice to have Tomby with us. He had to disappear to take care of something really important. So I want to thank Tomby for joining us tonight. And thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to everybody that's participated tonight. And if you're watching this on the re-rub, I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to not like and not subscribe, please.